genuinely, from the depths of my soul, am not that type of person. But it seems like I keep getting mixed up with the wrong people. Like, I'm just done. Like, I don't want any friends. I don't want any girlfriends. Nothing. I'm done with everyone and everything. Don't understand it. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't. And it's like, I think the craziest part is like that was in response to me saying that I miss her. I didn't even say anything bad about her. I've never said anything bad about her. I have stuck by her side. I have stuck up for her. I have lied for her. I have been there for her. But Amber Lynn's just a master manipulator. I'm just a wizard of manipulation. I'm going to be the professor at the manipulation college. Like, ever. I genuinely, from the depths of my soul, am not that type of person. But it seems like I keep getting mixed up with the wrong people. Like, I'm just done. Like, I don't want any friends. I don't want any girlfriends. Nothing. I'm done with everyone and everything. Don't understand it. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't. And it's like, I think the craziest part is like that was in response to me saying that I miss her. I didn't even say anything bad about her. I've never said anything bad about her. I have stuck by her side. I have stuck up for her. I have lied for her. I have been there for her. But Amber Lynn's just a master manipulator. I'm just a wizard of manipulation. I'm going to be the professor at the manipulation college. Like, ever. I genuinely, from...
Well, hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Coco and Josie and Kai and Toby and Carolyn and a play school and mostly metaphors. Hello, honey. Wildflower, Toby, pain in the butt. Kai, Rosie's creamy splat. A pleasure. Hello, honey. Barbie's vapor, voodoo, live, laugh, lobotomy, rat eyes, bunny cha-cha, Lottie. Lovely to see you all. Thank you all so much for being here. Good afternoon, rather. Good evening, good morning, or good night. Oh boy. Good start. Depending on where you are on this beautiful planet, thank you so much for joining me for yet another ad hoc live stream. Lovely to see you all today. Let's get messy, Girl Scout. We'll get there. We'll get there. Oh boy. Target Scanner, thank you so much for rejoining the channel as a member, honey. I appreciate it. No wig. Well, I mean, unfortunately, we're listening in today. So the wig is with me in spirit and also beside me, just not on my head. Thank you all so much for being here, everyone. Okay, so a bit of a tricky one today, all right? So for those of you who have seen the screenshots over on the Twitter, this will come as no surprise, and I suppose those of you who have already watched Rachel's upload, again, this will come as no surprise, but today we're going to be reacting to a couple of things. We're going to start off with the Amber Lynn and Tommy car fight that happened. I'm just going to listen in on the audio and y'all can make your minds up. I've made mine, but like we'll talk about it as we get there. And then we've got a whole heap of stuff. Ambi went live today with a stream titled Pathetic, which we're going to watch after Rachel's latest upload, which is entitled Exposing Everything with Screenshots. I'm going to go through Rachel's community tab post as well because the conversation, there's so much. The conversation at the moment is kind of all around context, right? Like screenshots being taken out of context, meanings being taken out of context, this, that, and the other. I wanted to have an opportunity because I know people have been asking about things in previous live streams, and I didn't want to have to kind of keep coming back to like people's being like, oh, Poppy, what did you think about this? What did you think about this? I just wanted to kind of like formulate a bit of an opinion now that it's not just like in Amber's like plot lines now, because it was kind of a side conversation until Amber addressed it. And now that Amber's addressed it, it's part of like the main plot. So yeah, I think it best if we just sit down. Annie, good morning, honey. Thank you for the super chat. Big cup of tea. I've got one. I got tea today. Yeah, it's chai. It's good. So we're going to sit through Rachel's video together. We're going to watch it. I'm going to share some opinions. Feel free to share your opinions in the chat as well. And as always, I am not here to bully, shame, hate, harass, or humiliate. Just here to talk about the produced and monetized content that we see here on this platform, because it's all about what choices about what we say, choices about what we put on the internet, choices. Now, I will preface all of this. And chat, I'm very sorry that I can't read everyone's chat at the moment, but I'm getting it out. I've got a lot of feelings. We're not always going to agree. We will always have differing opinions, and that's okay. Even not just like audience members and reaction channels, but between reaction channels, between audience members, you will support who you want. You will agree with who you want. Whatever. Girl, I'm not holding any of that against you. I like to kind of, I don't know if you know this about me, having watched a lot of ambient and foodie content, I like to try to follow lines of logic. And I think in this entire big, like, poo-poo doo-doo the clown fool mess that we've kind of been experiencing over the last couple of days, I can see arguments of lines of thinking and logic. Whether or not they'll make sense, like, at the end of the day, who knows? But for now, we've got things to watch, and try to have a bit of a laugh in. But in all honesty, Smug Lynn has really, like, just gotten me the last week or two, I think, and this entire situation will kind of only, you know, lend her more power in her smugness, which isn't great, but anyway. How are you guys doing? Please don't make me wash more things. Yeah, so that's what we're doing today. We've also got an update from Tammy. There's just so many things. So I guess we're going to start off listening to the Emily and Ambi altercation. This Geordie pulled this up the other day, and then this is from a TikTok creator who has copied that over onto TikTok, which is Dangling Ankle with 2 N's. Oh, sorry, Danglin. Now I see it. That's funny. So we're just going to play the audio and we're going to have a listen in, and I'm going to share my thoughts and feelings, because I have a lot of feelings. Oh no, that's not going to work. Oh, I really botched that one. Hold on, chat. Classic Zach, ruin everything. Hold on, I have to play it for a little bit and then rewind. Y'all can't hear that, right? Oh gosh, I thought I was being so clever. Okay, all right. Now, have I got enough to actually grab it? I do. Okay, good. I'm talking to my... No. Okay. Yeah, I have a lot of feel-ins. Hold on. I'm going to pull that off, and then we're going to get that there. And then here I was thinking I was all ready, but absolutely not. Should have not done that. Where is that now? Chat, I've decided I do not like this new layout for YouTube. I don't. Not a fan. Not a fan. Okay, let's see if this works. I think it will. Hold on, I've got to find the face. There it is. All right, transition over. Beautiful. And then we're going to hit this button. All right, ready, chat? Listen in.
Conversation with you, and I'm just wondering, why can't we both have bad days? Why is it just you're allowed to have them?
Why do you need to sit here and continue to yell at me? Why can't you go inside like I asked you and give me a little bit of space?
I can give you space. I just want to hug.
I don't want to hug you right now. I just don't.
Okay, fine. Can we just like wrap it up with like a good vibe?
Oh no, I ruined it! Oh my god, chat, I suck. This is why I can't do the TikToks. Trying again. I'm gonna shut up.
Okay. Why do you need to sit here and continue to yell at me? Why can't you go inside like I asked you and give me a little bit of space?
I can give you space. I just want to hug.
I don't want to hug you right now. I just don't.
Okay, fine. Can we just like wrap it up with like a good vibe? Like, because I don't have emotional permanence. I literally don't. Which means when I walk away...
So I have to suffer because of that.
No, I'm saying when I walk away, I'm left with what just happened. And that's what I firmly believe our whole relationship is based off of. So if you just tell me you love me...
Okay, you don't need to explain your unhealthy way of thinking.
Well, a little bit. It's a little unhealthy, I guess.
Very unhealthy.
Okay. I like to leave the conversation with something positive. Because I don't like how this is affecting us. Like,
Okay.
you've had a really
Can you
bad day.
please give me some space? I'm asking nicely.
Yes, but can you answer a question for me? Why is it okay for you to backtrack?
How is this ending it nicely, Amberland?
No, because I think
But
I
wait,
want you
I'll
to
leave you with
reflect.
this. But why?
No,
Seriously?
I guess I want you to reflect. Why is it okay for you to backtrack and have a bad day so bad that you kind of take it out on me all day long, and then I finally pop off because it just became a lot, because I also had my own separate bad day. So why is it okay for you to have a bad day, but I'm not?
I didn't say you weren't allowed to, but you sitting here doing this to me when I'm telling you to please stop is not okay.
Okay, your bad day,
Amberland, stop.
but your bad day was met with, at the end of the night, I still wanted to hold you. That's what I was looking forward to.
I was going to. I needed a little space
Okay,
first.
but can I tell you what my bad days met with? You're going back to Oklahoma. So do you see the difference?
Because you continue to do this to me over and over again. Back up then, like I asked you to. Or just better, go inside, please. Give me some space. Amberland, this is ridiculous. Go inside. Please, I'm not gonna be able to calm down until you please go away for a little bit.
Okay, can you just reflect on, like, why
I
is it
will
okay?
reflect.
Why is it
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do you really want to break up?
I don't know. I don't have time to space to think. Please go inside and give me space. Please go inside and give me space.
Can I have a kiss? I'm not here to hurt you, Emily. I just want you to love me. I love you. And I'm sorry, but I love you, okay?
Please go inside. I love you too.
I'm sorry. Do you accept my apology?
Yes.
I know this shouldn't have happened. I'm fully aware. But I am getting better. And that's without help. And that's only in a few days. I just want you to think of the positive things. Okay. I just feel bad. I'm sorry.
Please give me space. That's all I'm asking for.
Okay, so that was the video. Well, I guess audio from the video. I have a couple of opinions outside of the clearly unhealthy relationship. What's that anxious attachment style? Probably that. Who am I? Don't listen to me. Honestly, don't listen to me. Outside of all of that, I kind of think it's bizarre. I mean, we've been through this before, and this is not unique to, like, Ambi and Emily thing. I still remember back when Chantal was telling us about how she and old mate used to record each other in desperate and precarious situations, but that was a bit more vulgar, I would say. Understanding that Tommy Salome, who is the one who is recording this and is probably more than likely the only person aware that all of this is being recorded, it does feel a little like, is bias the right word? Probably. Like, it's cringe and it's sad. And don't make me sympathize with Amberlynn Reid, because absolutely not. But just remembering that Tommy Salome is the only person who knows that this is being recorded. We're going to get to it as we get through the Rachel stuff as well, but I have so many questions when it comes to how confidently Tommy is, like, shooting out these screenshots and voice messages and recorded videos and all of that to reaction channels, but not able to platform them herself. That's kind of weird. Is that not weird? Is that still not kind of curious to everybody else? That's weird, right? Chat, sorry, I had to hide you. Friday, thank you for the super chat. Love Friday says, just a reminder, Ambi, don't know she was recorded. Yes, but Emily did. Exactly. So the version of Emily is potentially her putting her best foot forward. Oh, 100%. 100%. Like, I 100% agree. I think that we've all, and our opinions, again, may differ. That's what today's content is kind of all about. But I think that we've all kind of made our mind up in regards to Tommy Salome's character. So regardless of how well she's attempting to paint herself in weird secret recordings of Amber, I'm certainly not changing that perspective. Anna, thank you for the super chat, love. And it says, public service announcement, whilst you should never touch the girl world poop, please normalize your poop and get your buttocks health checks. Good note, Anna. And thank you, Zach, for having safe space to chat. Anytime, honey. My pleasure. Thank you very much for the super chat and the support. I appreciate it. And yes, eat your fiber or drink your fiber, I guess. Get your butt checked. And Annie, thank you for the super chat. And he says, reminder team, no one thinks less of ALR and her boring evil than me. But two wrongs don't make a right. People always have reasons when caught but rarely an excuse. If ALR is smug, maybe she got handed a win. I mean, she did do that TikTok. Thank you for the support, honey. I hope you're having a good morning. All right, chat. Well, that is the video. We're going to move on over now into Rachel's community tab post from 11 days ago. So this was on the 25th, I think, or 24th, my time. Who knows? Time's wibbly wobbly. I wanted to read through it for context because, again, context is like discussed really heavily surrounding all of this content. So I thought, I always think that this is kind of useful to see like the line of logic from like the moment things are happening versus when we talk about things in hindsight, I guess. So I'm going to line that one up for everybody and try not to be the worst YouTuber ever. Am I the worst? Oh, I might be the worst. Hold on. Okie dokie. There we go. I'm not the worst. It actually worked. Okay. So from 11 days ago, Rachel says, hi guys, I'm exposing my own fuck up below for transparency. Obviously, there was a fair bit of context which I left out of my last post after I privated my last video with Emily's voice note. So this is after the big like 75 screenshot plus voice note video dropped, and then had to obviously have the voice note removed because of consent, I guess. We'll get to that. Basically, Emily gave me the voice note, screenshots, and a clip, which I ended up not using. It was not the rage video. I'm curious as to what that clip was. Sorry, there'll be a lot of interjecting from me. Because, you know, just like everybody else, I'm an audience member who's been watching Ambi for a hot minute, and this is now, like, the main plot line. And I had consent to use them with no strings attached. Prior to this, Emily had told me some pretty damning information about Amber owing her lots of money for the trip they took where Emily drove Amber home. I wanted the receipts for this pretty bad, but I didn't think it was something Emily would be super keen on sharing, so I stupidly offered Emily that if she was willing to give me these receipts, I would split the AdSense on that separate finance-related video with her. Later, once the voice note video was well underway, Emily asked me if we could split the AdSense from the voice note video instead of the finance one, as she felt it was it made no difference. I have some thoughts and opinions about that. I think for my own sake, it's not important, but I think one of the questions in that line about the voice note video was well underway. I would like some clarification, I guess, on whether or not being underway was just it was being edited and written, or whether or not it was already out. Because I feel like that timeline might be a little bit important to note. I, again, stupidly said yes, thinking, well, we were going to split the finance video anyway, so it really makes no difference if we just split this one instead. I'm going to be honest with you. There's two kind of major talking points throughout the Rachel video, and I guess we'll get there when we get there, but one of them is about the Discord stuff, and one of them is about the flirting/payment stuff. I don't know if it makes a difference whether or not you were offering to give the AdSense based on the financial video or based on, like, the 75 screenshots and voice note video. Like, at the end of the day, it's giving money to Tommy Salome. So, I don't know. But make your own mind up. Chat, once again, I'm not here to tell you what to think. It is essential to note that Emily had already given me consent to use the voice note prior to this rearrangement of which video would be split. She also never sent the finance receipts she had mentioned. She did not let me use the voice note because of any money. She had already said yes to this, and then the agreement was transferred. Pardon me. I then became very suspicious that Emily and Amber were talking again. I mean, girl, to be entirely honest, we've been watching Amber and Emily go back and forth for, what, the better part of a year now? I mean, Amber literally had a crash out crying about how they were still dating through until August, so I don't know why you would ever trust Tommy Slomy with fucking anything, but okay. Amber deleted her lives, posted that statement, and it was clear that Emily and Amber were not done with each other. I mean, girl, maybe I'm just super cynical, but I didn't ever think they stopped talking to each other. I thought, despite her shitty character, that receipts coming from Emily were still valuable, and showing these did not mean I was defending her. However, it became clear to me that my good intentions were being taken for granted. We'll talk about good intentions as we kind of move through the Rachel video, by the way. That Emily did not just want to provide receipts, but in fact, she viewed my videos as payback to Amber for their own personal drama. I mean, I don't think you would have needed to speak to Emily directly or seen any of those screenshots to understand that one of Amber's ex coming to reaction channels to shit talk her would probably be for payback and some weird, like, humiliation kink. But okay, again, those talking points have been, like, hovering around for a hot minute, but it's fine. Again, chat, this is me prattling. I'm just working through my own logic. I'm not telling anyone else to think. You come to your own conclusions. I was not comfortable being used as a pawn in their wider game. I therefore decided that there was no way on this earth that I was going to pay this person to make me look like a mug. Okay, I mean, for me, I wouldn't be interested in paying Tommy Salami for fucking anything, but okay. I told her as much, told her I would happily donate this portion to charity instead, so that I would not benefit from the decision, outside of a tax deduction. We'll get to that. She got very angry, suddenly blamed my video for her being harassed, despite having been okay with it prior. She did not want... Okay, so it seems to me that the timeline of the video was already out. But again, clarity's nice. She did not want the money to go to charity. She wanted to be paid. She tried to make it sound like she had not given me consent to use the voice note already. She had, and I can prove it. And that's proven through the Rachel video, I guess, which, again, we are going to get to. She gave me an ultimatum to pay her or take my video down. I wasn't paying her, so I took the video down. It is now back up. I'd be really interested. I mean, Rachel does kind of go into the conversation and basically says that, like, Emily had two options, like, suck it up or privacy strike. But, I mean, at the end of the day, again, the video got brought down and the voice note taken off, but I don't know, that all seems really weird. Sorry, Bryn, thank you for being here for 15 months, honey. Bryn says, love your channel longer than 15 months. But happy anniversary. Thanks, love. I appreciate it. I acknowledged that I was an absolute fucking idiot for offering her money under any circumstance and that it was only wrong to do so, and then changed my mind afterwards. At the same time... Sorry, changing my mind always reminds me of Chantal. At the same time, there was absolutely no way that I could, in good faith to my audience, allow a single penny of the AdSense money from your viewership, to go to Emily when it was clear that she was enjoying these weird mind games between herself and Amber and viewing videos made by me as punishment to Amber. I'm really sorry to step my foot in that line of logic, but, like, Emily always saw these videos as punishment to Amber. It was humiliation and exposure and tea and gossip and drama about someone she dated who she, like, actively was shit-talking on Reddits and actively talking to other reaction channels about. So I don't know where the sudden shock that all of this was for Emily's, like, benefit is coming from. It always seemed like it was for Emily's benefit, but okie dokie. This was icky to me. Yep, whole thing is. I wanted receipts, that was all. I was mad about Amber still owing Beck the inheritance money. Interesting. Note that. And I wanted everyone to know that Amber had financially screwed over another ex. Yep, and therefore I made an offer I shouldn't have made and realized that it was a mistake too late. I understand if people are mad at me for this. The portion offered to Emily will instead go to charity on or around November 26th. I will post a donation receipt here. Emily's response to the situation proved that my intuition was right. Well, I mean, I guess in the end, her intention was never to get her story as out as a DV victim, and I was wearing some serious rose gold glasses in pursuit of the receipts. We'll talk about that. Sorry for being a twat. I did get some interesting receipts, though. Please see this Venmo below, where Amber was blocked on all platforms, so Emily Also sent Emily $1 because she wanted her to answer the phone at 1 a.m. Speak soon. And there's the screenshot. So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot in that. And like, there are a couple of interesting, like, bits in there with lines of logic that might not actually follow through into the exposing everything video, which, again, we're about to watch. I'll probably, like, interject and have a lot of, like... Sorry, chat. This entire stream is literally me, like, working through the thoughts. So I get that not everyone's, like, particularly interested in that. And, like, don't let me tell you how to think or what to think. But I do have some curious questions about kind of a few points in there. The one... And, again, it's because we've been through this with Chantal, but... Emily's response to the situation proved that my intuition was right. Her intention was never to get her story out as a DV victim, and I was wearing some serious road gold glasses. Like, I think at least from the outside, and maybe it was different speaking to Emily because they're all professors of manipulation. Like, it was very obvious from the get that Tommy Salome was doing it to hurt Ambi. Not to get Emily's story out there, because if Emily wanted to get her story out there, she would do it on her Instagram where everybody was watching anyway, and etc., etc. But again, don't tell me what you... don't let me tell you what to think. It's a lot. Okay, we're going to get on over to Rachel's latest video now. This is exposing everything with screenshots. It's 47 minutes. We'll try to get to Ambi's pathetic towards the end. Again, context, but this is what we're doing today. I love that so much for us. Messy boots. Chat, how are you? Before we get started, are you guys okay? Are you guys good? You alright? Is everything okay? Have you got a big cup of tea? I hope you do. Okay, good. Everyone's okay? Alright, find your buddies, chat. I'm not okay. Oh, sorry, Josie. Kai, you're jazzed? Good. Sadie, you're nervous for your trip. Oh, where are you going? Hello. Okay, let's get to, shall we? This is sped up to like 1.1 or 1.2. But yeah, we'll try to get through it.
Hi everyone, welcome back. So
Voodoo, good to see you. I'm glad you're feeling better, by the way. And I've just realized I've messed with all of my audio. Sorry, chat.
today in this video, we are going to talk about everything. We're going to get it all out and everyone will know exactly what's happened and what's gone on. So here we go. The first thing I need to do is just mention my previous video, which was a glitter and lasers reaction.
I didn't bring that up. I think... I don't think it's that hard to reschedule a video. We've criticized Amber Lynn for doing things like piss poorly in terms of scheduling vlogs and stuff where bigger conversations are happening, this, that, and the other. I think that if you're any creator on the platform, regardless of how big or how much money you're making or whatever, it's really not that hard when there's more important talking points to see a piece of content and go, maybe the glitter and lasers haul can be rescheduled to like the end of the week. Maybe I don't push it out today. Or maybe I just boop into the studio and reschedule it. Like it's about 4 buttons. That's just me.
When I filmed that, all of this stuff that's happened over the last 24 hours-ish hadn't happened yet. So that's why I didn't address it in that video. And I absolutely acknowledge that it was quite tone deaf to post that video and then not say anything because it looked like I was trying to move along and not address the stuff, which is not...
Yeah, I mean, I just would have rescheduled it.
What's happening. So I'm sorry to all of my audience who saw that video and was like, what the fuck, why are you not addressing this? That's what happened there, but I am addressing it now. So here we go. So my goal...
Again, I don't need to know the clarification whether or not you just like went to hit publish or you accidentally scheduled it and it just happened at a poor time, but I don't know.
Goal in this video is to basically just tell you everything I can possibly tell you.
Hey, Lexi.
Get it all out so you know exactly what there is to know, and then you can think about it and talk about it amongst yourselves in your communities and such.
And that's what we're doing. We're thinking about it and we're talking about it, and I'm sure I'll do a lot of talking.
And everybody will know what happened, because that's the goal, right? So the first thing I'm going to cover is the deleted video. I'm going to just touch on this for 2 seconds. Basically, I got a privacy strike, which I suspect was from Emily, on this video here, which was my first ever Girl World video.
10 months ago. Okay.
there's pictures of Colleen, who is Amberlyn Reid's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, not sure, Emily, her deceased fiance, Colleen. There's pictures of her in that video, so that video got privacy striked. I think it was by Emily. I missed the emails because I'm a twat.
Okay.
And basically YouTube took that video down. So that's where it went. I'm currently arguing with an AI person, or fuck knows who I'm arguing with, in my email about that video and trying to get it back up again. But for everybody who noticed, that's where that video went. I don't check my Gmail because I'm stupid. I just went in my YouTube studio and saw the notification and was like, what the fuck? So
yeah, normally when you get a notification in your YouTube studio, I mean, a good thing would probably be to check the email. But again, this is all hindsight. Okay.
That's the notification. I'm pointing because I think I'm going to put it there. So just so everybody knows, that's where that video went. I did not personally take that video.
Sorry, chat. I am wearing my cynical hat today. I am. Spoilers, by the way. I've listened to this through twice already, so I've formulated some opinions, but, you know, the trajectory of the conversation might change. I did notice in that screenshot that it said, like, 1 hour ago, which was the notification. Maybe I'm just using my phone wrong. I just don't screenshot like every screen or notification, I guess. But maybe Rachel was like ready to, like, preparing to talk about it, and that's why we got a screenshot from 1 hour ago. Who knows? Lynn, thank you so much for joining the channel as a member, mate. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Hope you enjoy your emojis. And Zing, a pleasure to see you as well, honey. Zing, thank you for being here for 46 months. Zing says, talk fast, say all the words, hope nobody notices. Well, that's my trick, but the problem is the tongue. Messes me up every time.
Go down, and I'm trying to get it back up, so just so everybody knows. Okay, the next thing we need to talk about is the Discord. So we've had loads and loads of messages and people talking about this Discord. So it's absolutely...
Including me. I was doom scrolling on Twitter the last couple of days. I've seen the posts, I've seen the screenshots, I've seen some conversation about it. Like, I'm not in it, but and for transparency, I was not invited to the Discord, and that's totally fine by me.
Absolutely true. There was a private Discord which consisted of a few people, and all of us trusted each other very well, and we were friends, and we were all talking.
Okay, again, gotta say, I haven't been in Girl World as long as everybody, right? Like, there are people here who are celebrating a decade, honey. Get it. But for those of you who aren't aware and might be a little bit new, there have been so many examples of reactors kind of coming together and then there being a falling out. And that, I mean, I guess that's natural in terms of just like human connection. But this is not the first time that there has been what some may say a reactageddon, and it more than likely won't be the last. I think the conversation about like, oh, I opened this super secret Discord to only invite content creators in so we could like share and banter and go back and forth. That's all whatever. Like, that's your prerogative, or that's whoever's prerogative. Do what you want. But I think that more often than not, a Discord leads to examples of things that you've said, things that you may have said when you think everybody else can't see it. And then everybody else ends up seeing it. So, there's that, I guess.
About Girl World related stuff. There was all kinds of
Cat see the jokey beard contest
stuff in that Discord. Some very interesting, juicy tea, which still hasn't come out yet, just to be clear. So for everyone who's been wondering, I did not share everything I got at all. And some of that stuff went in that Discord. That Discord was a place where we chatted like mates. I'm sure you've all got mates. You run your mouth with your mates in a way that you wouldn't do on your public YouTube channel, but of course it got out, and everything that you guys have seen.
It's sad to me that this is sounding so much like I can't remember, there was a controversy a while ago where the excuse was like locker room chat. And I get that these are very different circumstances, obviously, and like it's not at all the same, but just the message is very similar in terms of Like, oh, you know, like we banter and we joke and we say whatever. Look, I've seen the screenshots, and regardless of who they are, if people don't like other people, if people don't like other people's content, whatever, that's on them. Like, who the fuck cares? Absolutely, who the fuck cares? But I don't know if, like, I don't know. I was thinking about this before. Like, I don't know if I care enough about everybody's opinion about everybody else to specifically dedicate any energy to that as a talking point around the Discordy stuff, you know? Anyway.
Has been seen. So, of course, as you guys all know, because you've all seen, somebody who was in that Discord has no fucking backbone, didn't want to tell me that they disagreed with my takes.
I'm finding this so hard because, like, the argument is, well, someone who was in the Discord didn't step forward and say, hey, what you're saying is distasteful or uncomfortable or whatever, but instead took screenshots and sent it to other people. Like, girlie, we're in, like, drama corner. Like, we're in messy drama nonsense YouTube. Like, if you're upset that someone didn't have the pudding spine or whatever to kick in the door and say, like, hey, I don't think what you're saying is appropriate, and instead just, like, backed out of it, I don't know, it seems like you're mad at the person who didn't have enough confrontation in them to do that, instead of being reflective on, like, hey, maybe what I said wasn't the nicest. But again, like, what does it matter? Like, what the fuck does it matter? What does it matter?
And instead screenshotted a load of the Discord and sent those screenshots out. They then sent all of those screenshots to someone who then shared some of that stuff. That person did not blur the...
Also, the irony of all of this is not lost on me, that someone in a reaction channel's Discord took screenshots and leaked them when the current topic of conversation and all of the focus on content has been about screenshots given by one party focused on one content creator that we watch. Like, I don't know if irony is the right word, but it feels right.
Face and name of some of the individuals in those screenshots who are not public figures, which I'm really angry about, because some of those people have all kinds of personal stuff going on in their lives. They don't want their faces and names to be made public, and yet they were. It takes 2 seconds to blur somebody's face in a screenshot, so I think that's really fucking poor, to be honest, if I'm being honest about it.
That's fair. I mean, I think as a note, if you are hanging out in a Discord, like, and you're happy to use your face, go ahead, but, like, maybe not names, like, just as, like, a, you know, general piece of advice.
But anyway, that's, you know, whatever, that happened, so the screenshots got out. The person who shared the screenshots, it will get out who that person was, and you will all be very surprised. I think I was very surprised.
I don't know if I care enough about who screenshotted what in this instance. Like, I think, I don't know, maybe Rachel's probably more invested in this because obviously it's not painting Rachel in the best light. But I don't care who did it. And honestly, y'all are just sharing opinions in a Discord. Go right ahead, Mary. It's not whatever. But I think the energy about being mad at who screenshotted it might be more about what was said versus who did it. Because, like, if you're going to get mad at someone who screenshotted, but you don't want to get mad about, like, people talking about other things. I don't know, girl. This is all very, like, Mean Girl coded. Not in, like, an iconic way. More in a, like, the remake way.
That I'm right about who I think it is, which I think I am, but obviously I won't say anything until I'm sure. But basically, that Discord was a bunch of people who I thought...
I don't think we get into the Ambi one. I've got so many thoughts.
...of as friends, mates, fellow creators who would chat and, like, spitball and bounce ideas off each other. A lot of sarcasm and stupidity was said in that chat. I am going to cover all that stuff. This is not me, like, sweeping it under the rug and saying a lot of stuff was said. I'm going to talk about what I said. Of course, we all knew there was a chance that it might...
Hey, Mick, good to see you.
...end up...
Sorry, chat. I know I'm trying to engage with you guys as well, but it's just a lot. It's a lot.
...being made public. Nobody thought that would actually happen, but it did happen, so here we are. So this is the timeline of what happened, and then we'll talk a little bit about the plan for this video. So this person who was in the Discord sent a bunch of...
Keats, thank you for being here for 10 months, honey. Keats says... Rolls. Look, I'm not telling it. You'll form your own opinions. You'll like who you like. You do what you want. But thank you for the support, honey. appreciate it. And I should have said it at the start, I suppose. I'm not taking sides. I'm not on anyone's team. I'm not interested in any of that bullshit. Like, I literally just want to watch my stories and have a laugh. But unfortunately, this now becomes part of the story because, like, Ambi's gonna be talking about it. Ambi already addressed part of this in her most recent live stream called Pathetic. But I just, like, this talking point will drag on with Ambi for the next, like, month. So, out of context, it would be really frustrating and annoying for Ambi to be, like, talking about one particular narrative point without actually being aware of it.
Screenshots from the Discord to somebody else. That person then started tweeting those screenshots and putting them into their own Discord. So that's how that all got out. Then Geordie went live last night, and I haven't actually watched this live stream, by the way. I'm filming this on the morning of Monday, whatever it is, Monday.
I did bloop in and catch part of Geordie's rewatch because that's where the video was originally. Because when you guys were telling me about it, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And this is what happens when you miss things. Lily, thank you for being here for 8 months. Sorry, I tea in my throat. Lilia said, all the love for our poop-free reactor. Thank you, honey. I appreciate the support. And the thing is that, like, I think maybe, I don't think people forget it, but I think it's worth reminding everybody that reaction channels are audience members at the same time as well. Now, we'll get into a little bit more of that kind of as Rachel continues, but it is sometimes hard to forget, especially when reaction channels are involved in, like, main story plot points, that they're also audience members, because when you start being a cast member, that's when it's hard, you know?
Can't see the date, 3rd of November. I haven't watched Amber's live, I haven't watched Geordie's live, but Geordie went live, shared this clip, okay? So Geordie shared that clip, then Amber went live, and Amber said a whole bunch of stuff. I've been given, like, a TLDR of what happened in both of those live streams, but I haven't watched either of them yet. So I really don't know what was said, but I'm not at that bit yet. So for now, we're going to talk about the Discord and all the stuff you guys want me to address, and then the, like, Geordie, Amber stuff can come in another video or a bit later. But just so you know, so far anyway, that's kind of the context of what happened. One of the main things I need to address is the money. So a bunch of screenshots were shared, and it's me being very fucking cocky about how much money I've made doing Girl World content. Hey guys, okay. I turned this video around pretty quick.
Oh, I'm going to disappear for a minute so we can read this one. Again, chat, just a reminder, I'm not telling anyone who to like, who to not like. I'm not telling anyone to go besmirch anybody's name. But, like, again, this is all, like, I was thinking before, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Ambi broke out the old laptop and did a on-camera reaction to this piece of content or something else, but I wouldn't be surprised. She's not very good at reactions. I'm not suggesting she do that, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if Ambi sees the win in all of this and wants to react. So this says, Jawbone says to Rachel, I'm not suggesting you watch it as it's pointless, but Geordie has said that you offering to pay in exchange for tea is not a big deal and isn't sure what the fuss is about, so that should clear the air a bit for you. Fair play to him. Rachel says, love that for Geordie. Jawbone responds, so you're not really being publicly hang-drawn, and quoted Diva, rest easy. Rachel says, if Geordie says it's all right, then I'm off the hook, teehee. I'll wipe my tears with banknotes. Now, what was the word that Rachel used? Oh, I can't remember. Talking about the money you make in Girl World is difficult to navigate, right? For some people, and oftentimes you can tell in the, I guess, investment or perhaps the attitude. For some people, they see the dollar signs, they see the, like, lucrative opportunity and they say, I'm gonna do that, and then they do that. That's not me telling you whether or not you should like a content creator more or less, by the way. That's just what it is. I think, and I can only talk from my perspective here, I am very, very fortunate that being able to watch nonsense on the internet and be supported by an audience who chooses to watch the content, to, like, be members, to send super chats, and generally hang around for my nonsense. I find myself so privileged, and I'm so very lucky to do that. And that does come with additional income, and that additional income is so like it's more than I ever thought was ever going to happen when I started watching nonsense on the internet, right? I think this kind of, that particular note about I'll wipe my tears with banknotes does come across as pretty, is distasteful the word? I suppose so. It just kind of gives me a bit of the ick. I just don't jive with that energy. I don't jazz with that energy. And that's whatever. That's based on, you know, your own personal opinion. But I think in the greater scheme of like, hey, let me reach out to someone in Amber Lynn's real life and get tea and get drama and get gossip and then offer to pay them and then kind of say this about money, and like there's more conversation about the money. It's not an energy that I necessarily enjoy.
So you might get some editing Rachel bits here and there, and particularly when it comes to showing receipts, because I'm just going to
Hey Frosty, good to see you, honey.
Chuck my own voice in over the top. So one of the main things that people have had a problem with is me making this joke about wiping my tears with banknotes. In a minute you'll see I go into a bit more detail about it, but this is it here. So you can see Jawbone, who is a public person, is in the Discord, and he says something about how he's watching Geordie, and Geordie is saying he thinks me offering to pay for receipts is a nothing burger, basically. And then you can see I post a meme of Dave, who is my absolute favourite rapper. New album's amazing, by the way. Anyway, and then I say, love that from Geordie. And then Jawbone says, so you're not really being publicly hung, drawn and quartered. Rest easy, basically. And I say, if Geordie says it's all right.
Oh, I'm so sorry that I missed your super chat, honey. Ciety says, thank you for being neutral here for the stories. That's okay, hun. Thank you for the support. I mean, I'm forming my own opinions along with everybody else. I'm yeah, I don't want to say like it's helpful as if it's like some actually helpful thing, but at least for me it's kind of helpful to be able to watch something and listen to or read, I guess, other people's perspectives and opinions on things, because I think that's what makes, you know, discussions great, as much as this can be called a discussion. Anyway, I'm going to stop discussing.
Then I'm off the hook. I'll wipe my tears with banknotes. So that is what I said about that. That's the context of all of that. Obviously, from this one screenshot, it's not immediately clear, but the vibe that Jawbone and I have, I don't know if you guys have seen any of Jawbone's content, but he's a joker. He says things tongue-in-cheek to take the piss, and that is how I spoke back to him in this Discord. Of course, I felt I was among friends. So when I made that comment, I was not talking about Beck. Beck was not relevant to the conversation. People are trying to make it sound like somebody said to me, oh, are you going to give the money to Beck? And I said, oh no, I'd rather wipe my tears with banknotes or some sort of bullshit. That is not what happened. The part of the conversation that was relating to Beck was over an hour prior, which I'm going to show you in a second, and this banknote comment had absolutely nothing to do with Beck. I was talking about Geordie, who is also somebody who takes Girl World lightly and makes lots of jokes, particularly about being paid lots of money by his...
I mean, I think a lot of people like make lots of jokes about stuff. I think in the greater like conversation, if this was what posted on the 23rd, unsure whether or not this conversation in the Discord was happening before or after the community tab post, I think the conversation around like Amber stealing Beck's inheritance has been a hot topic for a hot minute, and also the fact that Beck has had to like undergo some pretty like intense surgery and healthcare and all of that stuff. Again, that didn't just pop out of nowhere in the last 24 hours. Like, that's been a running conversation for quite a while. So I don't know. I think if you were in the position where you reached out to one of Amber's toxic exes and offered to pay them money for tea and drama, regardless of whether or not it was the DV stuff or the finance stuff, I don't really care at this point. It's all the same. And then, like, I understand the humor, believe me. Like, Australians have a unique, quirky humor as well. But I don't know. I think, again, distasteful maybe to have the, like, hey, look at how much money I made by buying this weird information from one of Amber's exes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still working through that one.
Viewers on their birthday and things like that. So the context around me saying this line was completely nothing to do with Beck. I understand the timing of it comes across as extremely insensitive because about an hour prior I was deciding what to do with the money, but in a
Oh. Okay, so an hour before this comment you were deciding what to do with the money. Okay.
second I'll show you that screenshot and it will make a lot more sense as well, because you'll see that I say at the end of that screenshot, I'll think about it, which I did then go on to do, and obviously I changed my mind. I'll explain a bit more about the Beck stuff and the money in a second. I just really wanted to nip this like vicious lie in the bud that when I made this joke about wiping my tears with banknotes, it had absolutely nothing to do with Beck, whose situation I empathise with.
Okay, but you're saying that an hour before this comment you were considering what to do with the money, and then an hour after that consideration you've made that comment. Following my line of logic, understanding where you were going to put the money would have been, do I pay Tommy Salome, do I donate it to charity, or do I organise to give it to Beck? So I think Beck was part of the conversation. If you were considering an hour ago where to put the money, guys, help me, my logic's breaking.
So very seriously, they're going through something really shitty, and it's just fundamentally untrue that this comment from me had anything to do with Beck in any way. Of course, the screenshots
Oh, we're back. Sorry, chat. Hi.
were shared with no context, which doesn't help because they were like grabs of wider conversations. I mean, we would talk like all day about a certain thing, so one screenshot of one section
Girl, is the Discord still up? Pull the transcripts. Put them up. Full transparency, baby.
of a conversation doesn't really help anyone.
I'm not suggesting to actually do that, but like, I don't know, like, maybe it's because I've watched this a couple of times through already. I understand the conversation around context and trying to build the context for certain conversations. Totally understand that. Go on.
To kind of understand
Morning,
where people
Neurotica.
are coming from, and there's lots of little lines in various messages that people are obsessing over, but they don't know what was said prior, which got the person to say
I mean, I'm not obsessing over it. I just read it and thought, that's not great to say.
that. So the context is missing. No Girl World content creator who pulls any number of views is only doing it for the love. People don't
Go on.
sit in their office and edit for like hours and hours and hours a day for just for fun. They
I think generalizing and painting everybody with the same brush and insinuating that everybody does it for the love of the money is not great. We know there are content creators out there who make shorts and TikToks and things like that that aren't necessarily monetized. We know that there are audience members out there who archive and discuss and talk about the content. We know that there are people out there who do things for the interest. And like I said earlier, the income is so much appreciated, right? But I truly honestly think if you weren't interested, and maybe it's different for me because I don't sit down and edit for hours and hours a day, right? Like I come on, we watch our stories, we have a chat in the chat, we have a laugh, and I'm not pulling like 20,000 views, 40,000 views. I get that. Like, this is a very particular setup for watching content. But I think trying to paint every creator doing it for the love of the money would come down to each individual. But whatever.
do it to make money, and every content creator, if you ask them if they're honest about it, they'll say, yeah, I'm doing this to make money. One of the
Lottie, very that. This is how we got live Zach, which is just worse.
reasons anyway is that they're doing it to make money. Now, and it's absolutely true that is one of the reasons I make these videos. The person who revealed all of this stuff themselves also said the same thing. When they revealed these screenshots, said it's going to be a good November for me. So that person also does it for the money and was super.
Yeah, but like not everyone's reaching out to like Tommy Salome offering money to make more money. Like that's its own. And again, we've spoken about this previously. Everybody's got a line in the sand, whether or not you want to touch the poos, engage in other people's realities, whatever, that's entirely up to you. I don't know. I hate using the word icky, but it is the most appropriate. It does make me feel particularly icky. Especially, look, and again, this is not me. I don't have beef with anyone. I don't care. Like make your own mess and sit in it, girl. I do find it interesting because I went back and I was like, maybe I should watch some like older Rachel content covering Ambi and understand a little bit more of like the context and the background and how like philosophy, we'll get to it when we get to it, like kind of works in with all of this stuff. And I did find it particularly interesting where it was like, okay, great, we're going to watch Ambi and we're going to assess her and her content from like a philosophical standpoint. And then I thought about this instance and I was like, is it a tenet of philosophy to like kick in a door and actively manipulate threads of like the history or the situation or society or whatever to like actively fuck with it for your own benefit so that you're able to like get tea and make it more interesting and dramatic? Maybe that's anthropology I'm thinking of. I don't know. Either way, this entire thing seems just confusing to me, but who am I? No one. I'm literally an audience member. I'm just watching my stories. And thank you for joining the channel as a member, mate. I appreciate it. And of age female, thank you for the super chat, love. Of age says, the point is not that reactors make money. That's fine. We consume the content. Exactly. It's up to the audience whether or not they want to watch or support. Like, that's not on the creator. The point is crossing the poo barrier and bribing a feeder. Not the poo barrier. Thanks, honey. And Cam, thank you for the super chat, love. Cam says, this is young dumb honey bun vibes without the far right arc. Oh, God. And this is what I mean. Like, if you've been in this corner of the internet long enough, you've kind of seen similar things play out in terms of, like, groups of content creators and, like, actively touching the poo and all of that stuff. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just trying to get through it. Vogress, thank you for 3 months, honey. Vogue says, thank you for your thoughtful responses as always. You're so welcome, honey. Anytime. And again, like, chat, you feel free to share your own opinions in the chat. I hope no one feels like they're going to get dogpiled or anything. Like, that's the whole reason why we watch this content, is because we're all coming at it from a different angle. I'm just sharing my own stuff. Anna, thank you for the super chat as well, love. Anna says, Rachel wishes just Socrates, not Socrates.
Excited to get all of these screenshots because it meant that they would make a lot of profit in November, which is exactly what I did when I got all of those screenshots from Emily. So
yeah, and like on that point, I will not shut up. I'm so sorry, chat. On that point, I would like to say, like, when the screenshots and stuff came out, I actively enjoyed it, right? Like, I was enjoying the content. I watched Rachel's video. I screenshot the chats. We spoke about them. We walked through all of them. We did the same thing with Mr. Snowflake. Absolutely 100%. I love a bit of messy drama. I don't know if I love, and I don't think that I love, like, actively instigating the messy drama. Like, especially when it comes to someone like Tommy Salome financially benefiting from, like, all of this nonsense. But whatever, that's a big thought.
just to point that out, the difference is that I absolutely ran my mouth in the Discord and was like, oh yeah, I've made loads of money talking about this. Now, I'm not ashamed of the fact that I've made profit. I don't think
Oh, Jawbone, I see you, honey.
anyone should be ashamed of that. I'm genuinely not, because, you know.
Okay, no stress. I'm like I said, I'm working through all of this to put my own thoughts together. I'm not like, whatever. Not Hippocrates. Thank you so much, of age. I appreciate the super chat, love. I don't like again, while I was watching this, the whole Discord thing seemed particularly like kind of whatever. Like, it's hard to avoid because it's part of a bigger conversation, but like if reaction channels don't like other reaction channels, if they're audience members or they don't like other people's content, whatever, like, it's whatever. It's fine. Like, it shouldn't be anyone's skin off anybody's nose. But I think, I honestly think that kind of takes away a little bit. Not takes away, but it feels like there's like two separate conversations being had in this, and there is. But yeah, anyway.
Anybody who puts hours and hours and hours into something, I think, is perfectly fine and well within their rights to be pleased that they're being paid for their work. What's not fine is me saying a bunch of stuff like, oh, I'm going to wipe my tears with banknotes. The context of that...
Okay, so Rachel's acknowledging that was a poor thing to say, and there it is. So, great.
conversation, and all of those conversations were I was getting so much shit for offering Emily money to get tea out of her, or receipts out of her, and everybody was really, really mad at me. I was trying to make myself feel better about the situation, and I completely admit and accept it doesn't look good at all, and it's true. So I can't say anything about that. I absolutely said some very unfunny, uncouth jokes about how much profit I had made from this. That's what I said. That's why I said it in the Discord.
Sorry, I need to re-listen to that.
Or receipts out of her, and everybody was really, really mad at me. I was trying to make myself feel better about the situation, and I completely admit and accept it doesn't look good at all, and it's true. So I can't say anything about that. I absolutely said some very unfunny, uncouth jokes about how much profit I had made from this. That's what I said.
Okay, so you were trying to work through the sense of everybody being upset with you that you were paying Tommy Salami for tea by making uncouth jokes in the reaction channel Discord. Okay.
Said that's why I said it in the Discord. I discussed with people when this all happened. I think it's the 23rd of October. You can see a screenshot where I am saying giving the money to Beck doesn't feel right. I'm not sure what to do about it.
Okay, so this was 3 hours before those previous screenshots, if I can understand time. Hector said, so are you going to give the money to Beck? The comments were pretty overwhelmingly in favor of that. Rachel says, I don't think so, to be honest. Feels wrong. I can't explain why, but I can see how it's a huge fuck you to them both, so I can see the appeal. I might do a poll and then blame it on that. I don't know, but the poll would be Beck, so I've got time to think on it. If I do a charity, I can write it off on my taxes. Haha. Apologies, Rachel. I've caught you in an unfortunate pause, but I'm just reading. Someone says, I think that's the best, to be honest. Rachel says, it feels cleaner. Somebody responds, I don't understand why people even suggested it until I reread the statement a second time, but both from an accounts and moral point of view, I think a charity with a registered charity number is better. Personally, I think, and having kind of made the argument that Amber Lynn Reid owes Beck a check for stealing the inheritance, I think the very easy and obvious answer would be a donation to Beck. I think the conversation about Beck's health has been one that we've been kind of having for a hot minute now, and pretty much every community tab post that Beck has put up in the last, 6 months has included things like PayPal and Venmo, while asking for assistance to pay for some pretty scary health stuff. So I don't necessarily, I get that she says that it feels wrong and I can't explain why, and maybe she'll go on to explain it shortly. But I don't, for me at least, I would never find myself in this position. But if I had, I think it would have been a pretty easy, drop it in Beck's PayPal, friends and family, leave a message and say, you deserve this. I hope everything's okay. And call a spade a spade. I think the conversation about charity and taxes is a pretty big one. Again, as someone who understands on a lesser extent, I suppose, the finances of YouTube, being able to write, 3.5K of a donation off on the tens of thousands of dollars that are undoubtedly made by Rachel making this content, I think is probably pretty useful. And again, maybe it was just said out of turn, but I think if you're going to go into analyzing every text message and response between Emily and Ambi and make content out of that, then expect, regardless of the sense of humor or the back and forth-ery of it all, expect other people to do it like this, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Rachel responds, I don't know why, I lean this way also, but there is something satisfying and petty about giving it to Beck. Haha, I'll think about it. I mean, there is also something nice and right and justified giving it to Beck. Satisfying, yes. Petty, I mean, sure, if that's the priority in donating to someone who suffered through Amber Lynn Reid, was part of that content, who has been reacted to, responded to, and is currently in a dire health concern, if petty's more important than, like, caring, sure.
It. If I give it to a charity, I can write it off on my taxes. And it's absolutely true. I did say that stuff. So when I made my community post, all those top comments were people saying, give the money to Beck, give the money to Beck. And I was like, that feels icky, because if I'm taking money that I got by sharing somebody else's DV story and then I give it to Beck, that just felt strange to me. It made
I'm so sorry. The way that Emily has gone to reaction channels to share awareness of Emily's situation with Amber without platforming herself and with an express desire to make finances out of it, specifically in this situation, I don't understand. I don't get it, because it seems like Emily was interested in money and revenge, and I don't get the logic personally.
Made me feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to fucking lie about that. At first, this is on the 23rd of October when I was having this conversation, I was like, is Beck even going to want that money? Is that going to make Beck feel uncomfortable?
Again, Beck, literally click into Beck's community tab post and read the last like 3 or 4 community tab posts where they've expressed the dire healthcare situation that they're in and the fact that they have very limited access to resources. I honestly don't think that's a very large leap of logic, asking whether or not Beck would benefit from a donation at this point in time, but okay.
Do I actually want to give money from one ex to a different ex? It all just felt a bit icky. I was very conscious. I was in the mud, and I was like, is this just flinging further mud? Just putting myself more into the situation? And
we're pretty in the situation.
I didn't want to do it. I felt really uncomfortable. Hi, me again. So this is the screenshot you can see on the right hand side here. This is, you'll see in a second, when I was actually filming this script, I hadn't grabbed these screenshots yet, which is why I keep having to get myself editing Rachel to come in and talk about
it's not mud, it's boo! Certainly not chocolate.
This. But you can see on the right hand side there, that's the conversation I was having, and this is the part of the Discord where I was discussing what to do. Should I give it to Beck? Should I give it to a charity? And I explain here that I feel uncomfortable. And
it sucks that you literally said, if I do a charity, I can write it off on my taxes, haha. Like, I don't know how we're talking around that, but Zing, thank you for the super chat, honey. Zing says, keeping money from DV stories isn't icky, Rach? Good question, Zing. And Diane, thank you for the super chat, honey. Diane says, Team Pelby, thank you for the entertainment. You're welcome, honey. Look, guys, I'm walking through this with everyone. Again, you don't have to listen to me, but we are an hour in and I've got 12 minutes into this video. I have too many opinions. You
can see there's a message where I say it feels cleaner to give it to charity. That's what I'm referring to there. It just felt like I was getting even more entangled by giving the money to Beck. This is before I had gone through the thought process and changed my mind. Just to be really clear, the date is very visible on the screenshot. You can see this is prior to me making the video that I'm...
Yeah, and then 3 hours later you said you were going to dry your tears with cash. Like... Again, like, whatever. If you want to say that it's gallows humor or just dark humor or just having a laugh, whatever. But, like, again, like if you go line by line on every text message between Emily and Amber and analyze everything, it kind of, like, are we not expecting the same? Well, I guess the expectation was that no one would ever see this stuff, so there's that. Roro, thank you for the 3 months, hunt. Roro says, to be honest, I don't care. Catch you all in the next QLR video. I heard Quirky was talking about cottage cheese today, so we might need to watch that in the morning.
Made later, where I told everyone, oh no, I've actually made the decision, and in a minute I'll tell you more about how I came to that decision. And if you look at the bottom of this screenshot here, you can see the last message is me saying I'll think about it, which I absolutely did go on to do, because obviously I changed my mind. You can also see the timestamp on this screenshot says 7:30, so this is like an hour before the comment about wiping my tears with banknotes.
Oh, I thought that was like 10 p.m. Did I misunderstand that? Maybe I misunderstood that. Hold on. Oh no, 8:30. I just can't read chat. This is why you shouldn't listen to me.
prior to me making the video that I made later, where I told everyone, oh no, I've actually made the decision, and in a minute I'll tell you more about how I came to that decision. And if you look at the bottom of this screenshot here, you can see the last message is me saying I'll think about it, which I absolutely did go on to do, because obviously I changed my mind. You can also see the timestamp on this screenshot says 7:30, so this is like an hour before the comment about wiping my tears with banknotes, and by the time we got to that part of the conversation, the topic had completely changed and was not about Beck whatsoever. Just
Okay, well, like I said 3 hours. I think 1 hour makes it even more curious, I suppose. But girl, I don't know.
to make it very clear to everyone, although these were on the same Discord, the two messages were completely unrelated. I was like, I don't know if Beck's even going to want it.
They weren't unrelated because you acknowledged the fact that you weren't sure what you were going to do with the money and then made the offhand joke about the banknotes. So, again, like, if that's just the sense of humor, that's the sense of humor. But, like, to say that I said this thing and I wasn't even thinking about what I'd said an hour ago, especially when the topic is money and who to give it to, and then money.
Amber owes Beck the inheritance money, and I think
Morning, Krusty.
Amber needs to pay Beck back. That was my knee-jerk gut reaction when that all first happened. I was like, this feels a little bit strange to me, okay? But then I reread my community post, I reread all of you guys' comments, and I was like, no, it actually does make sense for me to give this money to Beck. And the reason that it made sense, and this is why I changed my mind, and this is the main reason I changed my mind, I saw this comment, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. If I can find it, I'll put it here. I may not be able to. But somebody said, you mentioned Beck as one of your reasons for offering Emily money in the first place. And that is why you should give it to Beck, because you literally mention Beck in this post. And I was like, you're totally right, I do. In the post, and when I made this initial offer to Emily about the finance video, I say to her, this will be so fucking good because it will help other exes who've been screwed over financially by Amber, because like Beck, for example, who is owed...
How is paying Emily for financial drama tea benefiting Beck exactly? This will help Ambi's exes who have been financially abused by Ambi in the past. How is that? How is... Someone's going to need to explain that one to me. Sorry, chat.
Post, and I was like, you're totally right, I do. In the post, and when I made this initial offer to Emily about the finance video, I say to her, this will be so fucking good because it will help other exes who've been screwed over financially by Amber, because like Beck, for example, who is owed the inheritance money back. So
yeah, but how is it helping Beck? How is you paying Emily for screenshots, drama, and tea about Ambi's financial abuse? How is that helping Beck? How is that helping Beck in Beck's very specific situation of like triple bypasses and access to resources and like income? How is that someone's gonna...
my impetus for offering Emily this money,
by speaking the truth of the abuse to the public. But we already knew. We know that Ambi financially abuses her partners. Like we had streams with Beck. We had the conversations with Beck and Destiny. Like, the reason we know why Beck's shared bank account was not set up with Ambi, but Ambi took it over, is because Beck had that conversation. So again, how is that? So, I'm so sorry. I gotta know how it's benefiting Beck to pay Tommy Salome for tea and drama about Ambi's financial controls, when we know Ambi is financially controlling and abusive already from people who are actually in relationships for like years.
was so that she would make the finance video with me, send me all of the proof of Amber being a tight ass and all the other stuff.
Okay, but Ambi being a tight ass is not being financially abusive, so... And again, like, this is a moot point because this content never got made. Like, the video never got made, we never saw the screenshots, Tommy Salome never got paid, but, like, the intent was to pay Tommy Salome for hot tea and drama gossip about Ambi being tight, and that was going to benefit the exes somehow. This is why I need you all to help walk me through this, because I'm clearly not smart enough to understand. Finn's mum, thank you for the super chat. Honey, you didn't leave a message, but feel free to tag me.
Which I never actually got, but the point is that my goal was to kind of help the other exes and be like, guys, look, Beck's not the only one she owes money to. That was
I mean, we know. Like, what?
my goal, right?
The goal was to expose Amber Lynn as someone who owed money to her exes. Okay, well, I guess that makes it all worth it then. JJ, thank you for the super chat, honey. JJ says, tight shelf. Stop it.
So when I read this comment, I was like, oh, yeah, that was what I was trying to do. That was the point of
Oh, okay, so I'm so sorry. Again, this is not me trying to cause a stir, and I'm really, really not. But it does sound like, what's that word? I don't know, someone with a degree could probably help me. Confirmation bias, where you're actively looking for an answer or solution that would justify or, like make sense of your means. Kind of sounds like we found a comment response to our post that would align with some type of weird logical justification of our actions. Okay.
it. And it made me realise, oh yeah, of course I should give the money to Beck. And then Beck also made a further community post where they talk about
Someone's got to ask Socrates what he thought of this.
their surgery and such. And I was like, oh yeah, ding ding ding, light bulb moment. It makes complete perfect sense to give this money to Beck. So I changed my mind and I
Right.
decided, oh yeah, of course I'll give it to Beck. That makes
Okay.
perfect sense. So in that screenshot
Katniss, thank you for joining the channel as a member, mate. I appreciate it.
that you've seen where I'm saying, oh, it feels kind of icky, I'm not sure about
We should ask Terry. You know what? Terry's got a degree. We'll ask Terry.
doing that, I don't think I want to. And also I mentioned the tax
Terry's got a degree in reading and astronomy. Astrology? Shit. Geometry.
benefit of it all. That was before I had gone through that thought process. So yeah, there is a screenshot out there of me saying, I don't know if I'm going to give this money to Beck. It feels wrong, because that is how I felt at one point. And so the timing of
That's fine, but honestly, I feel I don't know. I feel word saladed, guys. Tay, thank you for being here for a month, honey. Tay says Rach didn't want a poll. She knew it would be Beck. Like it's literally in the screenshots that she said she didn't want to put a poll out because she knew that Beck would be the winner, but somehow got to the conclusion that she wanted to gift it to Beck from a comment on a post. Girl, this is all very confusing.
all of this has been like purposefully
This is so messy. This is all so messy.
twisted by this individual to try and make me look as bad as possible, when actually what happened was not like this at all. For example, this person's made this comment where they say Beck shares detailed updates about their devastating medical and financial
Oh, Pat Ray, shout out.
situation. Rachel blames Beck for making a deal to pay thousands to an active death feeder who's publicly gifting food to dying addicts, and then implies that it'd be icky and unethical. So
Okay, and unethical to help Beck instead when she reneged on her promise to pay the feeder and said she wouldn't personally benefit from denying Emily her cut. Then says to her peers that she actually wanted a tax write-off from Emily's cut. Cool. Yeah. Spice, welcome back to the channel, honey. I appreciate it. Thank you. And Rubber Ducky, thank you for the super chat. Rubber Ducky says, why does this community keep pitying Beck and giving her money? She's 30 plus. Amber's actions aren't our problem. No one should feel guilty. No one should feel guilty to donate money. Well, I think with Beck's particular situation, it's a major health crisis, and they don't have access to resources. So I can understand why people would want to donate. Amber's actions aren't our problem. No, not at all. But Amber has some would argue taken advantage of particular individuals to, for instance, create content or steal their bank account. But thank you for the super chat, honey.
the timing of what happened there is completely wrong. So Beck made their community post 5 days ago, and I made those comments in the Discord on the 20th.
I wanted to come on here and let everyone know, but this is the thing. We could literally pull up Beck's channel. This isn't the first time the first time they've spoken about health issues. Kinda good, kinda Beck. Posts. 18 hours ago there was an update, just FYI. 3 days ago, 6 days ago. Yeah, 2 weeks before that. What are you talking about? 11 days before this post that you've screenshot, she's talking about PET scans and follow-ups. Not good news. It wasn't a definitive cancer diagnosis, but the doctor said that it's really suspicious. And in the same week, another update, and then 2 weeks before that, went back to the doctor. Like, I mean, Beck's actively been talking about their like health. So I don't understand this.
23rd of October, which was way before Beck had given this update, I also did not blame Beck whatsoever. I said that Beck could benefit from everybody knowing that Amber also abused financially another ex, which is absolutely true. But
how is Beck benefiting from that?
obviously, when you lay it out like this, it sounds like that would be really awful if that's what happened, but that's absolutely not what happened. Those comments that you can see me make in the Discord where I'm not sure what to do were made before Beck made their post on their community tab, just to be.
Okay, but what about all the posts before it? I just, oh. It's fine.
Really fucking clear about what actually happened here. So I made that decision, and I had further conversations in that same Discord.
I feel like this Discord conversation is being had since time immemorial. Like, just say you said some offhand stuff, you said some distasteful stuff. Yes, you can see me going back and forth about who I should give the money to. Like, ultimately, I ended up on this decision. Like, what are we doing?
Where I said, guys, I think this is what I'm going to do. But those screenshots weren't shown. So it's just kind of funny to me that only bits that make...
Girl, even with the screenshots being shown and you walking me through it for 10 minutes, I'm still confused. But I'm stupid.
Me look really bad have been shown. There was all these parts of the Discord where you can see me being like, oh, I don't know what to do. Is this the right thing? I don't want to be a dick. So there was loads of that, which never got shown.
Okay, great. There was loads of you going back and forth on whether or not you wanted to give it to Tommy Salami, donate it to charity for a tax break, or give it to Beck. Oh, okay.
Only little bits that make me look really fucking bad were shown with no fucking context. So anyway, that is...
Well, you've cleared it up and also confused it more. Mate, I don't know.
Is what happened there. I discussed it all, and that's what you can see there. It's before I made the decision, and it's me umming and ahhing, and I absolutely did. I totally did. I did not know what to do, but I landed on the right decision in the end. And the comment that I make about the tax break is absolutely true. If I had donated that money directly to a domestic violence charity in the UK, not only could I have gift aided the donation, so 25% would be added to it by the UK government, but I could also have written that off on my taxes. I could have deducted that amount from my profit on my taxes. I absolutely could have, but that doesn't matter. What matters is doing the right thing with the money. But the point is that I absolutely did have that thought process, but as I've said, this was before I made the final decision. So I just think it's important, and I do think it matters that I decided the right thing in the end. People are allowed to go through a thought process. They're allowed to spitball their ideas and thoughts off the people around them before they come to a decision. That is healthy. What is not healthy is taking screenshots of that conversation, sharing them, and trying to spin a different point of view when you yourself don't know the context and haven't seen the wider conversation.
I think the problem with that argument is that if we're talking about dissecting line by line a whole heap of screenshots gifted to you by Tommy Salami after flirting and or promising money, it's hard to say that we're understanding all of that communication in context also. But I'm stupid, so don't listen to me.
Final point on the Beck stuff as well is that I've reached out to Beck both on Instagram and on YouTube, and they have not replied to me. So,
well, just so everybody knows, Beck has an update from 18 hours ago. Yeah, lots of health talk, lots of hospital talk, hoping that they can go home soon. So, okay. Hopefully there's a good news story coming out of all of that.
So I'm a little bit nervous of what to do, because I could just PayPal the money over, but then Beck will just receive this random money and be like, what the hell, unexpectedly, and I don't know if that could happen.
I mean, I think Beck would probably be extremely grateful, and like, again, the Cash Apps and the PayPals and stuff are on Beck's community tab post in pretty much every post, so...
have certain problems for them. I don't know if they get any benefits or anything, and if receiving a chunk of money might be an issue. I guess on PayPal it would be fine. But yeah, Beck has not replied to me, so I am like not sure what to do about that. I'm going to give them the money, don't worry, but the question is like how, and Beck hasn't even said if they for sure want the money. So if anybody has like a way to contact Beck, that
In community tab post.
would be awesome if you could get me in there. The money is going to Beck, which is the right decision. I stand by that decision. I also stand by the fact that I went through a thought process to come to that decision. And when that money is given to Beck, I will absolutely tell everyone. There is a lot of stuff that still needs to be covered. We've done the Discord, and now we're going to get into some of the other things. So number one is the flirting. Screenshots have been shared that show me saying that I flirted with Emily to get the tea. And I did say that. The screenshots are real, as I've already said. And I think this is kind of funny, and I'm going to just touch on this now. So I wanted the tea. I run a Girl World YouTube channel, so getting receipts and proof about one of the girls is super, super valuable to me.
Chat, I just want to watch my stories, honestly.
It's valuable monetarily, obviously, because I make profit off the videos. All of that stuff is super valuable. My goal is to analyze the girls the best way I possibly can.
I don't know if analyzing the content and the individuals whomst we watch is best done like actively being a character in it all, but that's whatever. I'm no one. I'm shut up, Zach.
So in order to do that, I want to see the proof, and I'm not going to lie about that. I absolutely do. And it is completely true that during my texting with Emily, I was much kinder to her than I might have otherwise been. I was much nicer. I was much more jokey. I said,
I think this is part of the problem as well, because like I know not everybody watches like content creators because they're genuine or they're transparent or they're whatever. Like some people are just entertaining, some people get drama, some people, you know, buy screenshots, whatever. I get all of that. But I think part of the general conversation at the moment might be like, hey, if you're willing to like lie and manipulate Tommy Salome, how do you as an audience member feel watching content knowing that a person is capable of flirting with a feeder like for tea on Amber? And that's everybody's own opinion to make, but it's just an interesting, like, I don't want to say like moral dilemma, but it is an interesting like perspective.
To her than I might have otherwise been. I was much nicer. I was much more jokey. I sent some winky face. Actually, I don't even know if I sent winky faces, but I definitely was somewhat more amenable to her than I could have been because I wanted her to feel comfortable with me and give me all of the proof, right?
Right. So you wanted to get Tommy Salome's DV story out as a DV victim, but you also wanted to manipulate them into giving you more juicy drama and tea. Okay.
I don't think anybody is going to send somebody else like 150 screenshots, videos, various other stuff without you making them feel comfortable. So I describe that as flirting in the Discord, and I probably stand by that.
I wonder if Mr. Snowflake had to flirt. JK. He's in love with Amber. Okay. I mean, again, this all comes down to lines and sands and how, like, active you want to get in the main plot, I suppose. Yep. And again, not going to say, like, I didn't find the screenshots and the like, analysis and the tea entertaining and dramatic and, like, I made content out of it. Like, I know, girl. But, like, I don't know, knowing all of this stuff is happening on in the background. It's like knowing how the sausage is made, you know? Or the salami, as it were.
I definitely did flirt with her a little bit. I don't give a fuck about that. I think flirting so that you can make more money is totally normal.
Okay, this might be a reason why audience members might be a little trepidatious. That's a big word for me. Don't ask me to spell it, but it's a big word. Break out the crossword. This might be why audience members may be a little trepidatious around things you have to say now, because actively saying, like, I have no issue making somebody comfortable or lying to someone to get what I want out of them, So, like, again, this is like a broader conversation about like YouTuber apologies, you know, with the classic like gray sweatshirt. Like, I get it, YouTube, parasocial relationships, all of that kind of stuff. But I think if you pull back the veneer of what someone's willing to do to like create content or make bank or like do all of that stuff, then your opinion is probably likely to change on them. Again, sausage being made, salami being made, all that.
People do it when they're bartenders, burlesque dancers, so many different professions.
I think comparing a bartender or a burlesque dancer to someone who actively seeks out information from an ex of one of the messy YouTubers whom we watch on the internet, I think those are quite different things. Like, and I also don't know whether or not the term flirting is being used like to my understanding, but I think telling a feeder you're gonna offer them money for tea and gossip on Anne Boleyn might be a little different to like bartending or burlesque. Chantel's like, oh, thank you for the super chat, Dainty. I appreciate it, love. Dainty says, to understand the girls, you must become one of the girls, not Sun Tzu. Why is he getting dragged into it? Thanks, Sonny.
You'll be a bit nicer than you want to be to somebody because you're trying to get ahead in your career. This is one thing.
Yeah, and again, as audience members, like, you would hate to feel as if someone's being disingenuous or, I mean, like, understanding parasocial relationships and all of that again, but, like, you would hate to think that someone's being disingenuous or, like, being fake, I suppose, to you as an audience member if you're a fan, because that's how we get YouTube apology videos.
That I'm not gonna kind of recant on, because I think that flirting with somebody is literally no big deal. I think that people having a huge problem with me flirting with somebody a tiny bit to get more information is like kind of weird. Like, why do you care who I flirted with? Now
I mean, I don't know. A lot of all of this kind of just speaks to character. Like, I like, we're not like on a fucking secret mission here. Like, we're not James Bond. like, I don't know. If you want to flirt with Tommy Salami, Amber's ex-feeder, like, go ahead. But I've gotta say, if someone told me, like, a reaction channel was out there in, like, Old Mate or Poopy's DMs flirting to get, like, screenshots of Chantel's text messages, I'd be like, that's fucking weird.
I understand.
I just think it's fucking weird when anyone tries to engage in, like, the realities. It's weird.
And the argument is that she's a death feeder and that's why I shouldn't have flirted with her. If you saw this alleged flirting, you'd be like, oh, because it was literally nothing.
Okay, well, we're showing screenshots and receipts. So now would be a really good opportunity to, like, throw one of those examples up.
Personally think that it's no big deal. If you feel that it's a huge deal, that's cool. That's your opinion, and you're genuinely within your rights to have that. And
I know, thank you so much. And that's what I said from the very beginning. Like, we're all going to have different opinions on all of this. A lot of people are going to be like, this is a nothing burger. It doesn't matter. Who cares? We got to laugh out of it. Anne Boleyn is a dumpster fire train wreck. So is Tommy Salami. A lot of people out there will just be glad that there's some interesting talking point to have and that there's new drama, and it's fine. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to clutch my pearls. I'm just trying to understand the logic of it all, because, like, this isn't the first time, like, content creators have delved into the realities. It's happened before. It's happened again. It's weird, but whatever. That's just, again, my opinion.
I support you having a different opinion from me, right? Because that's what life is all about. I'm not trying to be in an echo chamber, but I just want to say my view on my own actions in that situation is that me flirting with somebody to get more tea is really no big deal, and it happens in a multitude of jobs. And if you think it doesn't, you're...
No, I can acknowledge that may happen in jobs. I can. I don't... I don't like comparing this particular situation to that, but okay.
Objectively wrong. People have said all kinds of wild and hilarious things about me and Emily falling in love. I think a lot of that was said in Amber's live, which I'm going
I do love that thing.
to react to probably in my next video. But it's absolutely not true. I have a hard line that I'm not talking about my girlfriend. That is nobody's business. I do not choose to monetize information about my girlfriend or make my girlfriend public. So it is a hard line for me that I will not be discussing my girlfriend, my relationship. But what I will say is that this speculation that Emily and I fell in love or anything like that is absolutely laughable. And
I don't know, it happened with Erica, so who knows?
that is not what happened. But when I react to Amber's live, I think I'll talk more about that then, because I think she's the one who tried to kind of peddle that narrative. So we'll talk about that later. Hello.
Yeah, Amber was very jealous.
I had the section where I talk about Beck a bit later in the video, but I've ended up grabbing that section and moving it backwards. So now I talk about my screenshots between myself and Emily, but just to make it clear, there's a little like awkward cut here because I moved the Beck section to be in line with the rest of the money section because the structure of the video made no sense. So now I'm about to start talking about my decision to not give the money to Emily and the discussion that I had with Emily. In this Discord, I shared screenshots of the conversation between myself and Emily where I tell her that I'm not going to be giving her the money. Someone has threatened to share these screenshots and they're getting all high and mighty and excited that they've got these screenshots, so I'm going to show them to you instead.
Okay, girl, like, I'm just here to watch.
And then that person can
Too much talking. Me?
talk about them if they want
Yeah, that's what I do.
to, just like every other reactor is maybe going to. I personally think it's quite fucking boring. I'm going to show you them and you can do with them what you will. So here
Okay, keep an eye out for winky faces.
they are. I've just realised whilst editing that there are 2 screenshots which I somehow didn't cover in the video, so I'm just going to pop them here for you now.
Oh, okay. Okay, so black is Oak, Tommy Salami. Grey is Rachel, I suppose. Oak says, "This has all been very hard for me, and I feel like now I don't have your support either. You told me I could trust you." Girl, Emily also... Sorry, yeah, Tommy Salami might also need to... This is so stupid. Not Emily being like, "You told me I could trust you," reaction channel, who's literally mining me for tea and drama about my, like, ex-feedy. But you said I could trust you. Rachel says, "I haven't unfollowed you. I've been following you for over a year. I understand why you feel frustrated, but my worry is that I cannot trust that you won't go back and talk to Amber because you have done that before and I will look like a total mug for having defended you. I've showed your side of the story to basically everyone in Girl World, which has worked to your benefit." Okay, fully acknowledging the benefit given to Tommy Salami, the feeder. Okay, weird. You threatened to go to reaction channels when you spoke with Amber, and now you've done it. Twice, actually, and it has benefited you by getting your proof out, which is what you wanted. I have put my reputation on the line to get the truth out, and because I wanted to support a DV victim, this has always been about getting the truth out there via proof. I'm not on anyone's side. I am on the side of proving what really happened. That's what I've always said. Pumpkin Farts, thank you very much for the super chat, honey. Pumpkin says, "I heavily dislike how reactors are touching the poo. I miss the early days of reactors. Just react. Don't touch the poo." I was reminiscing about the old house the other day. Take me back to a shrimp ring and like a cupboard full of candles. I'd be happy. Thomas Lomi responds, "I understand. I know you don't trust my word, but I'm not going back to Amber." Well, I mean, sure. "I'm not sure who is telling you I'm talking to her, but clearly they are trying to stir the pot. I'm putting this in..." Like, fucking regardless of whether or not you had confirmation about Tommy Salami talking to Amber still, why the fuck would anybody trust that? Calm down, Zach. "I'm putting this entire chapter of my life behind me. I've been hurt by her. Thank you for telling my side." Sorry. "Thank you for putting my side of the story. I truly do appreciate it. Are you still going through with your word to split the AdSense with me? I'm going to assume you're ghosting me now." Rachel responds, "Hey, sorry, I thought I was blocked." Emily responds with a voice note. Rachel responds, "No worries. I think you should write a public statement on your own platform to inform people that it wasn't you." I think that was about the community tab. The privacy strikes. "I think our communications have skewed my judgment and impartiality towards the situation and think it's best we stop speaking." Chubby Dumpling, thank you for the super chat, honey. Rachel, in deflecting from Beck, much like her sister Amber, tried manipulating her audience to be at fault. No one cares. about Emily. No, not at, no, no, not at all. Cats Away, thank you for the super chat. Love Cats Away says, choices have been made. Yeah, it's all about choices.
So this is the part of the conversation where I tell Emily that I'm not going to be giving her the money, basically. So this is the start of the conversation. Emily got annoyed at me and was like, why did you unfollow me? Which I didn't. It was kind of strange. By this point in time, she had changed her profile picture and stuff and deleted everything on her Instagram. So you can see in the right hand side screenshot, I thought that I had been blocked, so I didn't bother replying. But you can see here my reasoning for not giving her the money. So I say, I didn't unfollow you. I've been following you for over a year. I understand why you feel frustrated, but
when did the blocking happen? Because I know in future screenshots there's a little like note down the bottom to say like you have blocked Oak or Oak has blocked you or whatever. But I wonder if these screenshots were like immediate. I guess so, because it does say yesterday at 9:40. Who knows?
My worry is that I cannot trust that you won't go back and talk to Amber because you've done that before and I will look like a total mug for having defended you. And that's what I say I've showed your side of the story to basically everyone in Go World, which has worked to your benefit. You threatened to go to reaction channels when you spoke with Amber and now you've done it. That was another dig from me because I saw in the screenshots, I kind of realised in the screenshots she literally threatens Amber by saying, oh, I'm going to go to reaction channels. And
okay, maybe I'm out on the timeline. Because was all of this happening like just after Mr. Snowflake had made the 3 screenshot video? Must have, right? Because isn't the timeline Tommy Salami went to multiple reaction channels with stuff. Mr. Snowflake said, hey, you should go to this person, and then ended up doing a video. And then Rachel was like on holidays or something for a couple of weeks and then came back and did this. I think so. I don't know if the timeline's important, but it's confusing.
I was like, oh, lol, that's exactly what she did. And then I say, and it has benefited you by getting your proof out there, which is what you wanted. I've put my reputation on the line to get the truth out because I wanted to support a DV victim. This has always been about getting the truth out via proof. I'm not on
that's
anyone's
right. Ambi was taking the break.
side. I'm on the side of proving what really happened. That's what I've always said. And then Emily says, I understand. I know you don't trust my word, but I'm not going back to Amber. I'm not sure who is telling you I'm talking to her, but clearly they're trying to stir the pot.
I don't know. Okay. The conversation about I'm on the side of understanding what happened. Like, obviously that's Rachel trying to, like, cozy up to Tommy Salami to get more information. Because I don't think that was necessarily the case. I think the case here was to understand Tommy Salami's perspective in everything and to take those screenshots. But I don't think it was about, like, I don't know. That particular line is sitting in a weird little spot for me.
That wasn't the case. There was absolutely proof that they were talking. And then obviously Amber, I think Amber had already done this at this point. She deleted her videos about Emily and posted that community post. So it was very obvious the two of them were talking again. And I was like, girl, I've literally made all these videos sharing your side of the story. And I've believed you when you've told me that you're this awful victim of this terrible abuse. And now here you are back in bed with Amber. It was just really disingenuous. And I was like, what the heck? Emily says, I'm putting this entire chapter of my
disingenuous is an interesting word.
My life behind me. I've been hurt by her, which is hilarious because they're literally still talking now.
That's very much the opinion that, like, I remember we kind of ended up with the old mate and Chantel thing. Like, why do you keep going back? Why do you keep reaching out? Why do you keep having conversations with people? But again, I know they're not the same situation, right? I know that. And I know they're not the same people, and I know the audience is slightly different between Ambi and Chantel. There's a lot of crossover, believe me, but, like, I get it. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't get it.
Which is just mad. And then Emily says, thank you for telling my side of the story. I truly do appreciate it. So that's proof there that she was grateful that I let her put her voice note in my video. She was pleased with the video. She was glad that her side of the story heard.
Yadira, I don't know. Yadira asked, do we know why Tommy didn't just continue with Mr. Snowflake? I have no idea. I don't know whether or not that was Mr. Snowflake's call or Tommy Salami's call. I mean, yeah, no idea. No idea.
A version of events got out via the voice note. And then she asks me, are you still going to go through with your word to split the AdSense with me? I'm going to assume you're ghosting me now. And I say, hey, sorry, I thought I was blocked. She then sent me this voice note where she claims that she's not the one who privacy struck Alex's shook, which I have no idea if
you can view the transcript? That would have been good.
That's true, but then you can see that this is my reply to that, and then I'll let main video Rachel, like, pick back up. There's this screenshot. This is the first one. I think that...
Oh, we're going to have to scooch on over. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. Professional YouTuber.
There's 9 of them, so we'll get through them. They are honestly boring, but we'll talk about it. So here's the conversation. We'll start here. So Emily told me that she is not the one who's making the privacy complaints. That's what she said, and then this is my response, and this is where we are. So I say, no worries, I think you should
See, now it says you blocked Provoke.
make a public statement on your own platform to inform people.
Chubby, thank you for the super chat. Love. Rachel Lynn. This is not the accountability you're is lecturing about. I mean, girl, what a mess. What a mess.
That it wasn't you who made the privacy complaints. I think our communications have skewed my judgment and impartiality towards the situation, and I think it's best we stop speaking. And that's absolutely true. She was telling me all kinds of stuff about herself, about Amber, and it was getting very difficult to tell what was true and what wasn't true. And having her in my ear whilst I was trying to make content for you guys was just weird, and it felt uncomfortable.
I mean, imagine the audience members who are like, it's weird that you would actively like talking to Tommy Salome while making content about Ambi. Like, yeah, it's weird.
And when I say that it skewed my judgment and impartiality, what I meant was the fact that I wanted more tea from her meant that I couldn't be as critical about her as I wanted to, as I've already told you guys.
Right, and unfortunately that does lead the audience to maybe distrust a lot. But okay.
So that's what I mean when I say that. And I say it's best we stop speaking. By the way, just to be clear, this is the last conversation Emily and I ever had. You're going to get up to and including the end of the conversation. So I say, while I understand this decision will be disappointing to you, I can't in good faith pay you for the video where I shared your story, because I heavily suspect that you had other motives for speaking to me besides getting your story out as a DV victim. I feel I've been a pawn in a bigger game between you and Amber, and that my good intentions have been somewhat used. That's the reasoning that I gave her. I thought I was sharing her story, but actually that's not really what was going on.
Okay. So we're just dropping the whole facade of we're here to expose Amberlynn Reid as a DV abuser, and we just want to get the survivor's story out there. That was never the case. That was always a facade, and it was the lie told to Tommy Salome to get more gossip and drama about Messy Lynn. Got it.
She was using me and my channel and my angle to try and attack Amber. She didn't actually want to get her story out, clearly, because she was still in fucking cahoots with Amber, which just pissed me off, because I was like, don't talk to me about how you're such a victim and you feel so awful, and then run back and have a chin wag with the person who did it to you. The whole thing just felt strange. So
yeah, again, I'm trying to put myself in the situation of if that had happened in, like, the Chantal-verse, how that would have been perceived and handled. Oh, wait, we watched 2 dumpster fires on the internet, Old Mate and Chantal Marie, be dumpster fires on the internet and be problematic and terrible. And, yep, and I don't think anyone took anyone's side in any of that for any reason, because they were both terrible. Okay.
I say, in light of the recent developments, I know it would be a disappointment to my audience, and I can't be sure confirmation of any payment wouldn't end up getting back to Amber and then be used against me. I'm pleased we were able to show the proof to the audience, but I don't think it's appropriate for me to make a payment to you. Instead, I will make a donation to a violence charity. I have to safeguard my integrity with my audience. This is something I'm not willing to risk. Thank you for understanding, and I wish you all the best. Now that, obviously, it makes me look like a total idiot, because I'm saying here that I want to safeguard my integrity with my audience, and that's absolutely true. I knew that if you guys knew that I had paid Emily for this, that you would be so angry with me. There was no way I was going to pay her. And then Emily...
I mean, you were talking about paying Emily for finance videos to come out after this, for finance drama and gossip. So, do you think your audience would have been okay with you paying Tommy Salome for finance gossip, tea and drama that would somehow benefit all of the exes, but not pay you for Tommy's DV story? I think I've got my wires crossed there.
Says, then I want the video taken down, because it's done nothing but cause me problems. I'm not going to make a statement. I'm not posting anything to social media. I'm being harassed. People are calling my family. Everyone is talking about me, about reporting me now, because Hector Kana posted about it, and now you're not staying true to your word. How would you like if someone did that to you? I feel like I've been used and
oh, this all feels very manipulative, Tommy. Chocolate cake incident. Thank you for the super chat, honey. Chocolate cake says she has a degree. She smells like coconut. Thank you for the super chat, honey.
exploited. I'm not talking to Amber. This is just your excuse to go back on your word. Unbelievable. So that she says she's being harassed and she wants the video taken down. When I posted the video, Emily was pleased with it. She was completely fine with the video when she thought she was being paid, and then when she realised she wasn't going to get paid, suddenly she blamed the video for her being harassed.
Oh gosh, it seems like everybody's just really distrustworthy. Oh, oh yeah, no. Amber, Tommy Salome, dislike them both.
Which is completely unfair. She says, you say you're sharing a victim story, then turn around and not believe me after you make money off me, all while you're worried about your reputation. Come on, Rachel. She had no problem.
I mean, it does kind of sound like Rachel was like leading Tommy Salome along with the purpose of getting the DV conversation out there. I don't know, girl, I don't know. This is also like just messy. Trash picking Zombie Bird, thank you for 19 months, honey. Zombie Bird says, my baby smiled so big when you said good morning. Good morning. Thanks for the support, honey. I hope you're having a good day.
With anybody making any money, all the while she thought she was getting some of it. As soon as I said, sorry, it's not going to you, she clearly feels that she's been screwed over. And you guys know what happened. And I say, as stated prior, I feel a similar way. My intention was to share your story, which has been achieved. You receiving a payment from me will have no tangible effect to your complaints above, which I sympathise with, talking about her being harassed or whatever. The purpose of this...
But again, there was the conversation about payment for future content. I get it. Like, I get Tommy Salome likely changing her mind and wanting payment for this video. One, probably because it was going to do higher numbers. And two, likely because she was still in conversation with Amber Lynn. It's so much, chat. So much. Lily, thank you for the super chat, love. Lily says, got to replay, but wanted to quickly send my support and highs and thank yous because your famous words, be good people. Be good people have never been more important. Virtual hugs and cups of tea. From me. Cups of tea right back, honey. Thank you very much for the super chat. I hope you have a great day.
Was for you to clear up information and share your story.
Tommy, Tommy. Stella, that's what, I mean, that's one of the top 5 questions I would like answered. Why doesn't Tommy Salome make her own video? Like, her Instagram was actively being watched. She knew exactly how to get a video that she had made out into, like, reaction channels. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. And maybe this was Tommy Salome's intention all along, was to, like, spill the tea drama and gossip, and then flip the script and ask for payment. Like, maybe that was just, like, the intention all along. Who knows?
Not to make a profit. I do not in any way support you being harassed, doxxed, or having your family contacted. I have not contributed towards or encouraged this behaviour. A donation of half the total AdSense of this video.
Chat, by the way, I know this is like a bit of a like dramatic live, but if you feel like hitting the like button, feel free. I'm just trying to get my thoughts and like imprint this whole thing, because undoubtedly, as the week goes on, there'll be other content creators who share their own opinions about everything, and there'll probably be more tea and gossip and drama and blah, blah, blah. But part of me, well, as I said at the start, like, I know that this is going to be a talking point for Amber, and she's possibly going to do a laptop-sided reaction. And I think it'll be interesting watching Amber for the next couple of weeks kind of navigate a lot of her chat's conversation around all of this, because again, a reminder that she'll be going live every single day. Zing, thank you for the super chat, honey. Zing says, all she's really proven is that her words mean nothing. I mean, yeah, ultimately it does kind of get a bit challenging with everything put together, but we'll continue.
Less 19% for taxes will be made to a domestic violence charity. I will not benefit financially from this decision. So, as I say, I was going to give it to charity. That's what I wanted to do, okay? Emily did not want that money to go to...
And just a reminder for everyone, like Rachel said at the very beginning of this, like, she's fully aware that everybody's going to be talking about this, everyone's going to be discussing it, the wider audience at large is going to have thoughts and opinions and all of that stuff, so this is just kind of that.
Charity. No matter what Amber tells you, that is not the case. and you can see it here. Emily says, Rachel, I need to be very clear. I did not consent for my personal experience to be used for profit or public content without fair compensation. You agreed there will be a payment in connection with the video, and I participated in good faith under that understanding. Redirecting that payment elsewhere without my consent does not remove your obligation to compensate me. This video has... So I'll pause there for a second. So she doesn't want the money to go to charity. She wants the money, okay? Yeah. Which, you know, cool. She's trying to make it sound here like she didn't give consent for the clip, the voice note. Sorry, not the clip, the voice note.
It just sounds like she's changing the terms of what you had agreed to pay for. You'd agreed to pay for a follow-up video around finances, and Tommy Salami has said, I don't want that. Pay me for this one. Like, I don't know, too bad, so sad.
And her side of the story to be...
For Tommy Salami, that is.
...used for content without compensation. That's not true. She gave me full consent to share the voice note prior to the misunderstanding which then followed, where we changed our agreement and I said, oh, it's fine, don't worry, we'll just split this upcoming video. But
again, that is also another thing that like audience members might have an issue with. Ghost of Chantel's Hair Fibers. Hello, honey. Thank you for joining the channel as a member, mate. I appreciate it.
But that upcoming video was
great name, by the way.
Already in motion, and I already had consent, as I said in my community post. So she's trying to make it sound here like she only let me use the voice note because I agreed to pay her. That is not what happened. She was already letting me use...
And the other side of this is that, like, you can't, like, obviously you can't trust anything Tommy Salami says or does, because I kind of get the feeling that this back and forth bullshittery from Tommy, like, you know, she was sitting there fucking typing out everything, screenshotting every response, every reply, every draft. Like, I don't know, if Tommy's willing to send fucking 100 screenshots through to reaction channels, you know that Tommy is also recording every fucking interaction with every reaction channel as well. So it's so bizarre. So bizarre. K-Star Babe, thank you for the super chat, honey. Kay says all she's missing is a ukulele at this point.
Use the voice note, and then the agreement was moved to split the money from a finance...
Not the toxic gossip train. Oh boy.
...video, and we said, oh, it's okay, we'll just split this upcoming video instead, which was already existing, and I already had consent for that video. She then says this video has directly led to harassment and harm, including people contacting my family. That's not true. She was being contacted already. She thanked me for the video when I made it. As soon as she realised she's not getting paid, she's mad about it.
Yeah, I don't know how any of those lines of logic line up. They don't. Like...
says it has not been beneficial to telling my story.
That video had absolutely nothing to do with anything outside of Emily and Tommy Salami and Ambi's nonsense back and forth.
Which is not true, because I literally played a voice note of her voice. So if that's not sharing her story, I literally don't know what is. She says, you just acknowledged that used my story, generated AdSense income, and that I've asked for it to be taken down. Continuing to keep it public while refusing payment is both unethical and a misuse of my story. Then I say, I reply shortly, I'm just about to go into blank and can't reply for a few hours. I'm not ignoring you and I will send a reply. If these screenshots get shared by another party and that word is not blanked out,
I'm going to go ahead and assume the other party would be Tommy Salami. I guess.
I am going to be absolutely fucking livid, because that covered up word there is a very private, very personal thing that I do in my spare time. And if that gets out because some person doesn't know how to edit a screenshot, I am going to be, or how to respect somebody else's genuinely private matters that have got nothing to do with the internet, I will be absolutely livid. And so I just hope that whoever shares these screenshots, if they've got, because I know they're out there, if you don't cover up that word, you're just a fucking loser. Emily says, I'll be waiting for your response. And then I come out and I say this. Hi, Emily. I've genuinely been considering your request, which is true. However, I believe taking down this video will open you up to further unwanted discussion and speculation, which it did. As soon as I privated that video, she got so much shit, and so did I. Everybody was like, why are you making her take this video down? You already gave consent. That's what I was trying to avoid when I said, let's just leave it now. Let's not private the video. But she wanted it privated. I say, I think it would be best for this money to go to DV victims who will benefit from it. If you still have concerns about the video being public, I'm sure YouTube has a process you can follow. Rest assured, the aforementioned donation will still be made. So that's me basically saying to her, if you want the video down, you can privacy strike it. She then says, Rachel,
yeah, that's what I thought.
So I need to be very clear about how wrong this is. I shared my personal story and details with you under the agreement that I would be compensated. So that is...
I mean, that's not true. Damn it, Tommy!
It's not true. I was sent her story, the screenshots, the voice note, ages and ages before any mention of money was ever made. So that is not true.
Yeah, you gotta put the coins on the dresser and hit the door. Or get the money first. That's the better advice.
Then she says, that was part of the understanding from the start. Again, not true. You assured me multiple times that I would be. I also made it clear that without that agreement, it would not be worth it for me to share something so personal and painful. That's just completely not true. You went forward, used my story publicly.
I'm so sorry. This entire argument from Tommy Solomity, god damn it, Tomity Solomity, is moot anyway because she'd already given screenshots to Snowflake. Like, what? It's not, this is not exclusive. This is not like the first time anyone's hearing about this. This was old tea when we got there. It was just a lot more in-depth, had a lot more complex flavors. Because instead of being like 3 or 5 screenshots or whatever it was like 70. But like, I don't know, Tommy's wild.
Then decided after the video was posted to take
not Slombody stop me.
that agreement back. That is not acceptable. You shared private information about me under a false sense of trust and benefit. This is not about speculation or donations. It's about ethics and respect. You profited from my vulnerability and are now trying to frame it as something else. I'm asking you to take accountability and make this right. Her trying to say that this whole thing was me profiting from her vulnerability, I think is kind of wild.
I mean, it depends on how you take it. Like, if you take it from the perspective of, like, you were saying to her that you were just interested in getting the DV story out there and exposing Ambi and this, that, and the other. Like, yeah, I don't know. This is all a fucking mess.
And are now trying to frame it as something else. I'm asking you to take accountability and make this right. Her trying to say that this whole thing was me profiting from her vulnerability, I think is kind of wild.
I mean, this is also hard because everything just feels so, like, manipulative and sticky and gross and weird. Like, if the logic is that the conversation is the whole reason that you're pushing out these screenshots and stuff between Tommy Salome and Amber was to prove that Amber was abusive and share with this corner of the internet Tommy Salome's story, then that particular argument kind of makes sense. Because, like, yeah. But I also understand what Tommy Salome's doing because Tommy wants to get paid.
Because...
Which is in its own way manipulative. So it's all just fucking messy, mate. This is just... It's poop.
She's the one who wanted all of this stuff out there. That's why people speak to reaction channels, right? They want to get things out. So saying I profited from her vulnerability, I don't feel that that is an accurate characterization of what happened there. And then we get into the fabulous thinly veiled threats. It's clear you're worried about
how fabulous.
How this might affect your image and reputation if people found out you paid me, but what would actually look worse than agreeing to pay me and then backing out after the video was already posted, all while profiting off it yourself.
And this is the way that Tommy Salome was speaking to Amber as well. Like, this is also fucking weird. Why can't people just be normal?
It doesn't really matter which one looks worse. Paying her was worse, so I didn't do it. And then she says, I'm not looking to make this public. I've kept everything private and respectful with you, but I trusted you to handle this with honesty and integrity, and you have not. You promised compensation for my time and vulnerability. You used my story publicly. You can still make this right.
Again, this argument doesn't hold a fucking drop of water. This bucket is bottomless. Like, the story had already been out through another reaction channel. Like, what the actual fuck?
And respectfully. So that, I feel, is her basically trying to say, I'm not trying to make this public, let's keep it quiet. And I feel that, I felt anyway when I read that message, that was her almost threatening to go public with this. And her...
Oh, definitely. There are not so veiled threats in there about, like, every message being screenshot and da-da-da. But I do find that particularly interesting because from everything we've seen, everything Tommy Salome puts out needs to go through a reaction channel for some reason. So, like, I don't know, who's Tommy gonna go to with, like, oh my goodness, look, here's the conversation I was having with Rachel. Like,
saying here, you promised compensation for my time and vulnerability. That's not true. I promised compensation for receipts relating to Amber owing Emily money. And then after the fact, I changed my mind and agreed that instead of splitting money on that video, we could just split the money on the upcoming video, which, as I've said, was all.
Oh, hold on. Wait, so there was a point where you were agreeing to pay Tommy Salami for the first video and stuff?
That was her almost threatening to go public with this. And her saying here, you promised compensation for my time and vulnerability. That's not true. I promised compensation for receipts relating to Amber owing Emily money.
Oh, right. Second video.
And then after the fact, I changed my mind and agreed that instead of splitting money on that video, we could just split the money on the upcoming video, which, as I've said, was already in motion, already planned, already.
Okay, so you did say you would pay for the receipts for this video. It's just so much. So much.
Scripted. So it's absolutely not true that I promised of splitting money on that video, we could just split the money on the upcoming video, which, as I've said, was already in motion, already planned, already scripted.
Okay, but not recorded or released. Okay, well that helps with, timelines, I guess.
So it's absolutely not true that I promised compensation for time and vulnerability. That's not what happened. I don't feel that's what happened. I then
Okay, this is all very confusing.
say, thank you so much for your response. I'd like to note that I disagree with your characterization of the timing and nature of the agreement. That's what I'm talking about when I say that. Nevertheless, I appreciate you giving me an understanding of your viewpoint on the above message. I then say, please grant me a period of time to think about this situation and decide which action is most suitable. As I've stated, my fear is that your motivations for getting me to make that video were to express a power play over Amber Lynn, with whom I believe you're still in regular contact, which they absolutely were still in contact. And I say, I'm not comfortable being a pawn in the mind games between the pair of you, nor am I comfortable financially compensating you for the same. I would be far more comfortable donating this money to a good cause. I see that this option.
I don't know, like that. That's. I understand that perspective of like not being comfortable being a pawn in the mind games of two feeder nincompoops. But I don't know, girl. At least, and again, maybe that's just the line in the sand for everyone. But for me, I would feel, especially with how manipulative and weird and gross everything in this all is, like I would probably feel real fucking weird if, again, like if Poopy reached out to me and was like, hey, like, I've got all this tea and gossip about Chantal. Like, she did this. Help me expose. I don't want to touch the poo. No. No, thank you.
Is not acceptable to you, which was me trying to dig her out and be like, girl, just let the money go to charity. But she was not okay with that. I then explain, monies accrued in October 2025 are paid by YouTube in November, so there is no rush for a decision. Thank you for your patience. I'll be back in contact in due course. So it's me basically saying, just fucking let us give the money to charity, but in the meantime, there's no rush anyway, so let's just leave it at that. So I wanted to give the money to charity. That was what I was trying to do.
Hey, Vanessa, good to see you, love.
And I was saying, either way, there's no rush for a decision because the money doesn't get paid until November anyway. And then she says, I don't agree with that. What exactly do you mean by characterization of the timing and nature of the agreement? I've already told you guys what I meant by that.
I do wonder as well, I think in the timeline, was Tommy reaching out to reaction channels? I wonder how it all like kind of kicked off.
The agreement was made before the video was uploaded, and you confirmed that more than once. The video would not have gone live without that understanding. Now that, it could be that it's true because I already
Butter crumpet, it's like the tea bags just like split open. It's everywhere.
Had the video planned and scripted, and she then basically asked me if we could just split this video instead of the finance video, as I keep fucking...
Yeah, Lottie says, post it on your own channel, and if it's worth reacting to, I will, is maybe as far as that conversation would go, 100%.
saying, and I said...
I'd just look at it and be like, ew.
Yes, it's possible if I said, no, I'm not splitting the money on this video, you need to wait for the finance video. She may have said, oh, don't post that video then, but I highly doubt it because she wanted her side of the story out and she thanked me after the fact, and that's why I thought she was talking to me in the first place. Obviously, you can see from these conversations, it was never about that, it was about a power play. She says, bringing up your own assumptions about my motivations or other people is irrelevant and dismissive. You're basing this off of rumours and no credible sources. That's not true. I knew for a fact that she and Amber were speaking. And then she says,
for a fact, or did you make the assumption we all did in that Amby took down the videos and therefore Tommy Salome must still be in contact. I mean, to be fair, from an outside perspective and not at all invested in this, and God, who cares, I wouldn't ever want to have a conversation with Tommy Salome. Considering the mess that has been the last, 18 months. No, thank you. Go away, you weirdo.
You do not need more time to think about what is right. You made an agreement and you have an obligation to honour it. I expect payment as promised or confirmation that the video will be removed. Changing the terms after profiting from my story is not a misunderstanding. It's unethical. I have kept this private out of respect for you, but continuing to deny what was agreed only damages your own credibility. So that is her saying and making it very clear she will...
God, I would have been so tired. I would have sent a thumbs up and hit that block button real quick.
Wants money or she wants the video taken down, and she's basically saying she's keeping this private, and she's saying to me, do one of my two options and I will continue to keep this private. And she gave those two options. There was
Hey Oceana, good to see you, honey.
Absolutely
Seagulls.
no way that I was going to pay her, so I therefore took the video down, and you can see this is what I send. So I privated the...
But what? That's another I guess the logic is private the video, take the voice note away because otherwise, under threat of privacy strike? Is that what it is? I guess. Or I guess maybe it's more under threat of leaking these conversations to another reaction channel or Instagram. Who knows? Okay, that one's confusing too. Hold on.
My two options and I will continue to keep this private. And she gave those two options. There was absolutely no way that I was going to pay her, so I therefore took the video down, and you can see this is what I send. So I privated the video, screenshotted that, circled the private logo and wrote, you're mischaracterizing the agreement to try and make me look worse than I am. We both know you had given consent for that voice note to be shared before any money was confirmed. At the time, I thought I was agreeing to split money on a finance video with you to help you recuperate lost money from Amber never paying you back, which is the reason.
Hold on. There's a lot of words. I'm stupid. I gotta try to keep up.
Circled the private logo and wrote, you're mischaracterizing the agreement to try and make me look worse than I am. We both know you had given consent for that voice note to be shared before any money was confirmed. Yeah. At the time, I thought I was agreeing to split money on a finance video with you to help you...
Okay, so there was a promise of future money. Not on this video, but on future videos. So, okay. I think we're arguing semantics about, stuff now. But I'm tracking the overall conversation.
Recuperate lost money from Amber never paying you back, which is the reason that I gave her. But actually, it's because I wanted the fucking tea on Amber being a scumbag when it comes to money. And I say it then became clear that there was a misunderstanding, at which point I changed my mind and agreed to split this video. And if Emily wants to go there, I've got proof of all of that, but I'm not going to put myself on blast for no reason. But I can prove that if I need to. And then I say, but...
Okay, I guess we're not exposing absolutely everything in this one. There'll be a part 2.
The consent for the voice note had already been given. Let's leave this here now. The money will still be donated to a domestic violence charity. I then blocked her, and that is the last thing I have ever said to her. So there it is. That's what was said between she and I. If you are angry with me for the things I've said, I understand. That's what happened. That's what I said. It was very clear to me. She wanted the money. She did not want the money to go to charity. It's very clear from those screenshots that that is how she felt at that time. I know that these screenshots are going to be discussed and picked apart by people. That's completely fine. But
I mean, not picked apart. I'm just kind of listening in, trying to follow it all, because I know that Ambi's going to be talking about it.
That's what happened, right? That's my point of view, the context, as the person who was in the conversation and said the things. That's what I was thinking when I said them. Other people are obviously going to give their opinion on it, because that's what we do in Girl World, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, we did it with all of the screenshots and stuff. So.
And that's completely fine. But that is what was said and why I said it and what happened. And there you go. It's pretty clear that somebody who was in that initial Discord basically was mad at me because I said that I didn't like other content creators, or I thought their content wasn't very good.
Okay, hard shift back into Discord conversation. Got it.
And, you know, we're all allowed opinions, right? That's what the internet's here for. Yeah. If I think somebody's content is mid and I say it, that's what I said. That's my opinion. And
yeah, it's fine. Who cares?
There you go. I'm not going to backtrack on my opinion just because you guys have all seen me say it, right? I think that this has shown that certain people take Girl World very, very, very personally.
Yeah.
To me, that's not what this is. This isn't personal, you know, reporting and talking and covering on what's going on. This is something I do that makes me money, and also it's something I find very interesting. If someone doesn't like my content, that's completely fine. We're all allowed to have opinions, right? I don't think we need to be attacking other creators.
I 100% agree. And I chat, like I said, always say at the very start of the chat, not here to bully, shame, hate, harass, or humiliate. None of that. But, yeah. So not here to take it too personally. Just here to have a laughy and a toothy.
My content, that's completely fine. We're all allowed to have opinions, right? I don't think we need to be attacking other creators and sharing the faces, names, and voices of private individuals during that process. But if that's what you want to do, you do you. I personally think it's a little bit strange, and I've seen the people in this creators Discord, they're all circle jerking and laughing and talking with each other, and it's hilarious because they don't even know how to read a date, and they're all excited, and there's loads of like moral grandstanding going on, and they're all really excited and happy and talking with their Discord buddies about the tea that they've gotten about me, when in fact they didn't actually get very much tea at all, and I just think that's kind of funny. The final thing
Okay. I'm just not going to take anything personally. WoW account, especially Girl World. WoW account, thank you for the super chat, honey. WoW account says, I think anyone in a private Discord takes Girl World too seriously, but keep going, Rachel. Have some dollary dues, Wolfie. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've got kind of a lot of thoughts on all of that. And I kind of covered it off at the start where I was saying, you know, like, not just in Girl World, but I think in any any YouTube channel, any Twitch channel, any like content creator, you kind of get a sense as like channels develop and progress and this, that, and the other about how much enjoyment someone gets out of like creating the content. And it doesn't have to be reaction. It can be like, it can be anything. It can be whatever. I guess like through this entire conversation, like, money has obviously been a large talking point about it all. I don't know. As an audience member and a content creator as well, I do have to like balance those two kind of perspectives. But as an audience member, it's never made me feel good. And it's always like, this is always applied to Chantel and Amber as well. Like, it's never made me feel good as an audience member if it feels like the person that I'm watching is actively lying to me or lying to the audience or covering up or like treating the audience like they're stupid and they can't connect two dots or whatever. And I don't think that opinion is taking Girl World too personally. Again, I'm no one. Like, I'm more about, sadly, Chantel and Rosie at this point in time. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's like taking this corner of the internet like super personally. Like, oh my god, I can't believe like butthole 747 said my beard sucks. Like, I'll go cry. Like there's that kind of taking it personal, and then there's like respecting your audience personal. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to work through that thought.
they're all really excited and happy and talking with their Discord buddies about the tea that they've gotten about me, when in fact they didn't actually get very much tea at all. And I just think that's kind of funny. The final thing I'm going to do is talk a little bit now about just my channel, my content, talk to you guys as my viewers. So when this channel started, I started talking about Girl World, I started getting views, and I didn't know what the fuck to do. Like, I was literally like, this is crazy, people are watching me, I'm being paid for this, and I had no idea how to handle it, and that is just the complete truth. I was trying to be myself.
I mean, yeah, like, you kind of find your groove as you go, you know?
But I was...
Lily, thank you for gifting 5 channel memberships, honey, I appreciate it. Welcome and welcome back, everyone. Enjoy your emojis, and please make sure you thank the lovely Oh Silly It's Lily for the gift. Thanks, honey.
Also very scared. I was like, I don't want people to dislike me, I don't want people to hate me, and I cared a lot what people thought about me. I absolutely did. And I was...
Again, I'm going to preface all of this because I'm sure she's going to get into it, but like I think that probably happens for most content creators, regardless of where you land in what niche and what corner. Like, you'll always have a bit of like hesitancy and like, oh, well, what happens if I say the wrong thing, or like what happens if I, like, you know, have a bad take or whatever. I feel like that's very, very natural. I mean, I talk about baby Poppy all the time. He's so meek compared to modern day Poppy. But I think that outside of people like Chantal and Amber who very clearly do not respect their audience, I think that, and like maybe like the lolcow universe and like, you know, really like problematic content creators who do it for shock and awe and whatever, I think that kind of across the board, most creators like learn pretty quickly to respect their audience, because like the audience are the ones who are clicking in and watching and supporting. And ultimately, you do want to have a good relationship with them. Like, you don't want too good. We're not talking parasocial Rosie over here, but you do want to have like a good relationship with your audience, because like kind of makes the whole thing fun, you know? Genevieve, thank you for the super chat, honey. Genevieve says, I already dislike Jawbone, but his community tab responding to this drama, he and Rachel are Hexagona deserve. Thank you very much for the super chat, honey. Look, I'm not here justifying or grandstanding or taking sides on anything. I'm forming my own opinions on everything, like the rest of the audience, and I encourage everybody to do the same. I think there'll be a lot of conversations as kind of the week goes on, undoubtedly, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a follow-up and a part 2 and more community tab posts and all of that stuff. And like at the end of the day, I'm an audience member. I watch, like, I don't watch every reactor. I don't have that time. I try to keep a general pulse on what's going on, but in this conversation, I think this storyline has now become a main plot point in like the Amber Reid story. So unfortunately, like everybody's going to have an opinion, and that's not unfortunate. Like, everyone's already going to have an opinion, but I just feel like it will be a big talking point throughout the week and possibly for a while longer, as you know, as Ambi has promised to do live streams every day this month. Sarah Ann, thank you for the super chat, honey. Sarah Ann says, if you're in America, let's all help feed those affected by loss of benefits and not pay dumpster fires. Thank you for the super chat, honey. 100%. Go engage with your local charities, help people out. Your community is important, and we're just here to have a laugh at nonsense on the internet. So, yeah, real life is a lot more important.
Trying to be myself and be real, because I'm a very direct person. I say what I think. I'm comfortable making people feel uncomfortable if necessary. I'm not shy. If I say something, I generally stand by it. If I'm wrong, I put my hands up and say...
Again, this is really hard to accept from someone who has also said, yes, I lied and manipulated Tommy Salome to get more drama and tea out of Ambi. Like, this is more, again, it's how the sausage is made, and perhaps a bigger conversation about, like, do you as an individual, and I guess that's a moral and ethical conversation, like, do you as an audience member, as an individual, think that the ends justify the means? Like, do you disagreeing with the means necessarily, like, mean that you're empathizing with Tommy Salome, or is it just an objective perspective of, like, oh, that felt kind of weird? Like, you know, there's a whole heap of stuff to unpack. And ultimately, like, I'm sure we'll watch a lot of people, we'll listen to a lot of people unpack all of this, but at the end of the day, you do have to also understand that it's for the most part, I guess this makes it hard as well. For the most part, it's people just sharing opinions, right? But because we're having such a big conversation about girl world and, like, the girlonomy, that's me trying to smash girl and economy together. Like, this corner of the internet is mostly dumpster fires on the internet, but along with that comes, like, drama conversation and all of that stuff. So, yeah. For me, at least, I'm sitting here trying to listen to Rachel's perspective, understand the logic to whatever degree. I'm not very smart, so forgive me. But also put my opinions and thoughts into words so that I don't kind of just sit on them awkwardly and have to answer it in the middle of, like, a Rosie stream while we're talking about cottage cheese.
I was wrong about that. You know,
Girlonomics. Oh, I do like that. That's fun.
I love when people disagree with me. One of the biggest markers of me knowing that somebody is a real friend of mine is that they will say to me, you're wrong about that. And I'll be like, oh, geez, am I? And that's one thing about my degree is when you study philosophy, you realise that if you live in an echo chamber where you don't take in any new information, you're never willing to consider changing your mind because you don't get any new information, right? That's one thing that I don't do as a person. I genuinely don't. If you want to give me information, I will listen, because I think the more I get, I can then weigh it up and decide what to do with it. And sure, some of my weighing up in this situation might have been a little bit skewed, but at all points during this process, I was trying to do my best. I genuinely was. And I was trying to do it whilst also put myself publicly on a big public platform where thousands of people were watching me for the first time ever, and I fumbled it. I fumbled a lot of things in this situation. And one thing I really want to say to you guys, my viewers, people who are bothering to watch this video, you've watched the whole way through, you're at 1 hour 20 something now, maybe.
Okay, we're at 44, so there's what's that, like 40 minutes? Okay. Katie Kitty, thank you for the super sticker, honey. I appreciate it. Good to see ya.
Probably cut a lot out, but you're watching me, right? And this is who I am. I just want to say to you guys, I've tried my best to handle this channel the best way I could.
Oh, and banned WoW account, thank you for the super chat, love. WoW account says it smells like coconut oil. The second one in the chat.
Me, right? And this is who I am. I just want to say to you guys, I've tried my best to handle this channel the best way I could, but I have absolutely made so many mistakes and I've learned from them. And I'm not going to be like scared off the internet. I'm not going to stop making content. I'm not going to stop covering the girls. So I'm not going to stop just because I fucked up, but I'm absolutely going to say I fucked up. Here's what happened. And if you guys...
And it is interesting. See, this is like, it's all playing devil's advocate, because like, think of a timeline where the Discord didn't exist, or the screenshots were never released, or like, I don't know, Tommy Salome didn't have screen recordings of the entire conversation. Like, unfortunately, and look, I get it. We're all just laughing at dumpster fires on the internet. It's really not that deep, chat. It's messy and not that deep. It is just a shitty puddle, right? Just millimeters deep. But I think on a greater scale, when you are talking about like your channel and your relationship with the audience being like highlighted as like engaging or impacting or affecting kind of the main character or the main plot line, some people are going to agree with it and some people aren't, and that's opinions, baby. Vogris, thank you for the super chat, honey. Vogris says, was everyone aware she has a philosophy degree? Well, if you weren't, you are now. Thank you for the super chat, honey.
Go through this situation, you see everything I've said in this video and whatever else, you know, you weigh up what I've shown you, what you've seen, what I've done, and all of that. If you come to the conclusion then that you...
Honestly, take me back to chicken carcass mukbang.
You don't think my coverage of Girl World is valuable to you, or you don't like it, you just don't like me, you don't want to watch it, whatever. That's genuinely, completely fine. My goal now is just to be like, this is what I think. Here we are. And if you don't like it and you don't agree, let me know in the comments, by all means, and we can talk about it.
Oh yeah, chat. I mean, I won't be able to respond to everybody's chat and everybody's comment section, obviously. But like, the door's always open, as they say, you know? Like, not everybody's going to agree with my opinion. Not everyone's going to agree with my take, and that's absolutely fine. But, like, I don't know. This is just a mess.
And if you don't like it and you don't agree, let me know in the comments, by all means, and we can talk about it. But the one thing I will say, and what I will add, is I chose this life, right? I chose to insert myself into Girl World. I purposefully inserted myself into this community, and Girl World gets a bad reputation on the internet. People who don't cover it make one video about Girl World and their comments are full of people being like, oh my god, don't do it, you know, don't get into it, it's a total mess. I don't agree.
I mean, it is a mess, but it's an entertaining mess. Wow account, thank you for the super chat, love. Wow account says you should beep her comments. I had earlier in the day, and there are a lot of people with a lot of opinions, and this video will do numbers. Like, I think it's already at like 40 or 50,000 views. And again, you have to like consider all of that. You have to, like, outside of context, intent is also like a big conversation to have. And considering how how much the focus has been on like money and revenue and like all of that stuff. I get the sense that if you were someone who maybe hadn't watched a lot of Ambi or weren't maybe aware of a lot of reaction channels and histories and pasts and things like that, like on platform, you might see this example and be like, hang on, wait a minute. Like, I can reach out to Aunt Tammy. I can reach out to, like, Mama Lynn. I can reach out to, like, Grandma. I can engage with the reality, because although this isn't directly Amber Lynn's reality, it is, you know? And that could mean absolutely nothing, or it could mean just a lot of awkward shit. And like I said at the start of the stream, like, touching the poo-poos. Like, it's happened before, it'll happen again undoubtedly, but every time it happens, it's a shitty mess.
I like Girl World. I enjoy the debate and the discussion. And I know that people in this community, the way this community works is people talk about each other. That's what we do. That's how Girl World works. So I made this YouTube channel with my full government face, you know, my name, my face. Here I am giving my opinion. I chose this, right? I'm fine with people talking about whatever they want, because that's what Girl World is. If I didn't want to do it and I didn't want to be a part of it, and I didn't want people talking about my face, my name, whatever, if I didn't want people talking about me and my takes and what I've done, whatever, in their own communities, then I could just stop making videos. So I'm never going to be angry and butthurt at people, at you, for talking about me in your communities, because that's what I do. I talk about people in my community, right? And I'm...
Great. Cool. CPuff, thank you for being here for 8 months, honey. CPuff says, follow the Prime directive. Observe. Don't engage. Thank you, honey.
Comfortable and fine with that discourse, because that's what Girl World is. And that's...
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I think there's a difference between inserting yourself as a reactor into the general community to watch nonsense, nincompoop dumpster fires on the internet, and personally engaging with characters within the main plot. Some of you might say, I'm playing semantics. I get it. You don't need to agree with me. But that's everybody's line in the sand, and I've said that phrase enough today.
Right? And I'm comfortable and fine with that discourse, because that's what Girl World is. And that's why I've made this video, because I actually think the best way to handle this situation is just be like, there you go, that's what happened. And then you can go talk about it if you indeed want to. I'm going to continue trying my absolute best to apply everything that I've learned from this situation to the future, and we'll just have to see what happens, right? But I'm not going to stop making my content, and we'll just have to see how you guys take it. So I think some more stuff is probably going to come out. I don't know who's going to release what. I don't know who...
Sarah Marie, thank you for being here for 29 months, honey. Sarah says we flew too close to the poop.
who's going to say what.
We forgot the gloves.
But we'll just have to see. But what I am probably going to do is watch Amber's live stream with you guys, because I know she says a lot of stuff about me, and I think it might be quite funny for us to cover that. So that's what we're going to do next. Thank you all for listening to what I have to say, and yeah, we'll see what happens now. No idea how it's going to go down, but we'll see. I think I'll leave it there. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Okay, bye Rachel. Well, chat, that 47-minute video took me 2.5 hours to get through. I apologize. I was intending to react to Ambi's most recent live stream, which was another 40 minutes long, where her audience has a conversation with Ambi about this video, and Ambi shares some thoughts and opinions. But that might need to wait until tomorrow or another time. Who knows? We've also got Rosie with cottage cheese, and that's a hot ticket, to be entirely honest. All right, chat. Well, thank you so much for sitting with me. Thank you so much for listening to all my thoughts and opinions and trying to pass out my own logic. Again, I'm not trying to be hateful towards anyone. I'm just trying to keep up, because, bro, drop of a hat, things get messy. Kem, thank you for the super chat. Love. Kem says, interacting with the girls is like putting your hand into Chantal's freezer. Poopsicles, indeed. All right, chat. I hope you all have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for watching along with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all being respectful and not getting upset with each other or me. Thank you very much for always being wonderful. And I hope you have a fabulous day. For those of you on the rewatch, thank you for your comments, opinions, and eyeballs. Chat, if you'd like to hit the like button on the way out, I'd appreciate it. I understand this is a bit of a different talking point today. So if you don't feel comfortable doing that, or you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, I totally understand. I get it. It's fine. It's no problem. But that's it from me. So please make sure you brush your hair and your teeth, wash your face, get your steps in, hug a loved one. Don't be a dumpster fire on the internet. Make good choices. Be good people. Take care of yourselves and others. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you all in the next video and or live stream.